Guy Fleetwood with all the news that is fit to dish, now in Hailstrom Vision. It's a doozy down in New Orleans as people congregate en masse to celebrate the age-old tradition that is Mardi Gras. Why, you wouldn't know the market had crashed it all from the sheer joy on display of the faces of every man, woman, and child in the quarter here today. These little ones are certainly having a good time. And how? Sam McKendrew assured this reporter that the dust storms on the horizon would hold long enough for the festivities to proceed, and it looks as though his predictions were correct, as per usual. He also assured the gathered throng of reporters that despite the high number of recent disappearances in the French Quarter, every citizen should feel welcome and safe, and that both the New Orleans Police Department and the Texas Rangers were hard on the case. Why, yes, you'd be hard-pressed to find a more joyful city in the whole of the Confederacy than that of New Orleans. From uptown to Gentilly, you'll find folks living it up. Truly, New Orleans is a modern city on the rise, and the crown jewel of the Confederate States of America. This year marks the 55th anniversary of the ceasefire in the War of Northern Aggression, and you can sure that it'll be on the lips of every boy and girl.
You mooks want the real skinny about the Big Easy? Let me bend your ears. Yeah, the Confederacy and the Union is at peace, if you consider two mangy dogs snarling at each other over a hunk of meat peaceful like. Don't pay no mind to that Patsy Fleetwood. He's a grifter in the pocket of Hailstrom Industries. Earns his sawbucks by gumming up the works. You want the real lowdown in this burg? You're gonna need connections. And buddy, that's easier said than done. Most average Joes are just keeping their heads down, trying to stay out of the poorhouse. The dock work dried up with the market crash, you see. Those with more, how should I put this, ambitious predilections come to find that a little bit of crime is the best way to line your pockets with a couple of greenbacks. Most everybody's just struggling to keep their heads above water right now, and most of these folks don't exactly care if they have to stand on your head to do it. On top of that, you add the things that go bump in the night into the mix, and the Big Easy ain't exactly the cat's meow right now. Don't go crying to the coppers for help about it neither. Most of them are on the take, and you're more likely to find yourself taking a dirt nap with an acute case of lead poisoning than getting those bums to lift a finger for you. So you're probably asking yourselves, who can I turn to for help? That leaves the private dicks, the Seamuses, the gumshoes. These are the guys to call when you're down to your last dime and find yourself in 15 cents worth of trouble. In fact, let me spill the beans about two of these guys I know down in Treme. Word on the street is, if the money is right, they'll live by the heater and die by the heater. And welcome. We are live. The very first inaugural episode of Tate and Miles, the Deadlands Noir detective live stream role play event. As always, I am your host and commissioner this evening, Will Thompson, and with me are the esteemed and illustrious Larry Williams and Andrew Brown, playing Spencer Miles and Sydney Tate, respectively. Before we, dive into all that is Deadlands Noir, a little bit of housekeeping. Uh, Thank you for joining the show. This is one of soon to be 4 Savage Worlds based shows that we do every week here. Um, Savage Worlds is an amazing system. If you're not familiar with it, I highly recommend you go check out the source books. They're $10 a pop. You could be playing this right now in the comfort of your own home for 20 bucks, some poker chips, and a deck of playing cards. It's a fantastic and versatile system. Get your hands on it. If you enjoy what you see here tonight, be sure to hit the follow button or even, subscribe if you like. If neither of those are your fancy but you still enjoy it, please share the show all around. Every set of eyes that gets on the show makes it that much better. The more people we get here, the higher production values, the whole spiel. It'll be amazing. But with all of that established, we should probably move right into the first scene here, which is going to be in New Orleans proper, down at the Docks district. For those of you that are unfamiliar, New Orleans has 8+ miles of waterfront, and until very recently, it was all occupied by the bustling trade. New Orleans is the biggest port, in the Confederacy in its entirety. And until the market crash in the Great Depression, there could be thousands of people coming and going from the docks, working as porters and dock workers, and assisting the trade of the influx of foreign goods into the Confederacy via all the ports in New Orleans. But the last couple of years have not been kind to the dock workers. The trade has dried up. Confederate grayback isn't worth what it was used to be, and people are struggling everywhere. We find ourselves in the corner of a warehouse uh, that is once one of these aforementioned warehouses with the trade that's since found itself mostly vacated. It sits in the shadow of Steel Industries manufacturing headquarters on the docks there, the smokestack seeming to keep it perpetually cast in shadow, belching their luminous green-black smoke as the ghost-rocked work inside is turned into all kinds of patent inventions. On the front of the office, we see a flickering neon sign that says Tate and Miles Detective Agency. As the camera pans past, right, we go past an old fat lady smoking heavily and clacking on a typewriter. The half-smoked cigarette butts piling over her ashtray, and zoom through back to a back main office where we see a figure sleeping fitfully on a cot. It's not something that he's unaccustomed to, not having a good night's sleep practically a single evening on account of his experiences in the Great War. And as we zoom in, we can see that he's pale and sweating and struggling against the blankets, knotted up, the thin cot drenched with his perspiration. And, well, Tate, we're having that dream again.
Uh, all right then. Back to the war. Back to where it all began.
Somewhere in France, you find yourself. The sensation of the mud soaking your leggings and boots is feeling that has stuck with you all these years, and is the first sensation that drags you back to the reliving the horror of that day. You're not entirely sure which one of the battlefields it was. They've all bled together so much, but you find yourself in the bottom of a trench, bullets raining overhead,
You're lined up with several other gentlemen, and you're about to get the command to go over the wall. You're not the first one to go out of the trench into the no man's land. There's 2 waves before you that have been whistled out at this point, and neither one of them made it 100 yards, but here you are, next in line. Why don't you describe yourself for us in this situation?
Sidney Tate's going to stand a few inches taller than his compatriots. He's not looking forward to going over the top again. He's 6'3" and 198 pounds, a slim man. He ain't been eating too good. And Europe's been slimming him down. His head is thick, his jaw square. He's determined to show his squad mates that he's with them. Because he ain't really here to fight for them officers down the trench. He's here to fight for his buddies. Spencer Miles is down the trench somewhere. But today, they go over the top together.
That's right, they are, and none of you are really there on account of believing in any political ideology. In fact, this is the first experience of really industrialized and mechanized warfare, with the addition of ghost rock into the mix. I mean, it's been a never-ending cascade of horrors. You guys have been exposed to scenes the likes of which that, well, men weren't meant to be privy to. And the experience has forever instilled this kind of cynicism in you. But that cynicism doesn't help you here at all, as you hear the shout come down the line, "Ready! Ready!" And then that horrible, and men burst over the wall in unison, charging forth into just the, well, nightmarish scene. So, you find yourself just, I mean, as it sounds, surrounded by a horrific hail of gunfire, bullets whizzing every which way. In addition, the weird science weapons firing off big gouts of green light splashing across the field, illuminating the ghastly scene, through the haze and the fog. It's early morning, and you're charging forth. Nobody seems to be firing directly at you at this point, but I mean, there's so much lead that at any point you could just reach out and touch a stream of it. It's madness. You make it to a hunk of wire and hunker down. Your commanding officer, Sergeant Clyde, right, crawls over to you and says, "We've got to keep moving. You've got to get up. We've got to get out of here." And goes to stand out as one of those beams of light cuts him clean in half. Just the top half of his body just gone, nothing, not even vapor. The bottom half cauterized falls into a heap. Definitely, perhaps not the time to be standing up, but the rest of your squad mates are charging forward and taking heavy casualties.
Sidney Tate's going to stay low, hunkered down, crouched, and move forward to support the boys.
As you crawl forward, you see that there's a big artillery hole filled with some, water in front of you that would provide some cover from the, just the rain of lead.
How deep is it? Does it look?
Probably about 8 feet deep.
Good God.
The edges
feels
are
like
slick,
suicide.
yeah. Slick and muddy.
Tate's going to keep moving past that suicide pit.
Keep moving past that suicide pit. As you crawl around it, a shell explodes right next to you and sends you careening into the very pit that you've sought to avoid. You splash into the muddy and bloody water down at the bottom. It's oily and brackish and tainted green in spots, and you find yourself disoriented as the silhouette of another figure runs down, slides down the side of the pit and gathers you, and we find ourselves at Spencer Miles. Spencer Miles, why don't you describe yourself?
He's a kid. Miles is a kid, He's barely a teenager. I'd rather be sitting at home reading the Sunday funnies than in some foreign country fearing for my life. Do it for your country, they said. See the world, they said. All I've seen is trenches, mud, death. Can't get any of those thoughts out of my head. Luckily, I met some good guys here like Tate. But I want to go home. I want to get out of here. I don't want to be here.
That makes a ton of sense. What do you physically look like?
6 foot, malnutrition, pretty thin. Dashingly handsome.
Yeah.
Very clean, clear, smooth face.
Yeah.
No blemishes at all. No facial hair yet. Could barely grow. Maybe a little peach fuzz. Like I said, he's still a kid. Barely out of puberty. Voice still cracking as he talks.
Right. Right. Enlisted early, lied about his age, found himself in a world of shit that was not romanticized in the dime novels back home, certainly. But in this crater, you find a bloodied and disoriented Sidney Tate. So what do you do? He appears, he's looking, but he's not seeing you. His eyes aren't focusing.
I reach down, I start shaking him, smacking him in his face. Come on, Tate, stay with me. Stay with me.
It takes you a minute.
Can't hear anything.
Well, his eardrums are exploded. He now has the deaf hindrance forever. No, it was, you barely missed the, your head was turned just so, and the shockwave managed to not rupture your eardrums, but your ears are in fact ringing, yeah.
Yeah. When he comes to and sees his buddy, what are we gonna do? Miles, we can't get out of here.
I don't know, man. We can't stay here. I don't know. I do not want to climb out of this trench. I peek up. Where's every... Oh, I guess we can't see the rest of it.
You can peer over. You climb up. Give me an athletics roll to climb the muddy side of the crater. Oh yeah, handily for Sidney Tate. He manages to peek over the edge. Spencer, you're a young boy and you slide down into the brackish water, soaking up to the waist, and you were knee-high wet, but this is, you are saturated at this point.
What do you see? What do you see?
What do I see?
Tate, you see barbed wire and death and a heavy fog hanging low over the battlefield, but in the distance, the silhouette of something large, bipedal. Give me a common knowledge roll. You remember from the briefing that this is one of the Eisen Reapers. It is one of the Kraut super weapons. These Hun bastards have put a man inside a 20-foot-tall mechanical body, affixed with, a Gatling gun on one arm, a giant punching fist on the other, and a couple of artillery launchers, one sticking out of each shoulder. And it is a solid edifice of ghost steel. Clearly, the round that landed near you and knocked you senseless came from this thing. If your boys are going to have any hope at all, this thing's going to need to be dealt with.
It's one of the Hun's metal men.
Tate, come on,
tear
man.
us apart.
Help me up, man. I've never seen one. I gotta see it. Help me up. I want to see it.
Tate helps him up. He's like, he wants to see it. He wants to see it. Okay.
Between the two of you, it's not going to require a roll. You're at the top. You reach down. He gets up. He scrambles up. And lo and behold, you see again this 25 foot tall iron giant. Eyes glowing voluminously green, the Gatling gun raking the field, and shots coming off the artillery just randomly spread throughout the field, and it's decimating this wave. The men and women that went over the ridge with you are not faring well. You would imagine that probably half of them have already been killed.
I don't think we can go out there.
You got a grenade?
Do I have a grenade?
No, and this thing is about 50 yards away at this point. You would need to get closer to it. But you guys are asking, do you have any deck charges with you? Any grenades, right? when out of the mist comes a German screaming towards you, bayonet fixed. You're both at the edge of the crater at this point. What is it that you do to the Hun?
No, we're gonna shoot that Hun.
You're gonna
We have
shoot that Hun?
Our service
I'm gonna shoot him.
Yeah, you have your service rifle, and you can brace it against the ground, giving you a +2 to this shooting roll against you. He's just screaming manically forward.
Is that a Springfield 1903 bolt action?
Why not? Yeah.
Alright.
It's a shooting roll.
Both of us.
If both of you want to take a shot, but it's not gonna matter. So, for those of you unfamiliar with the Savage Worlds combat system, Miles there just got a raise and a raise, and so he didn't just plug this German, he plugged him right in the neck, and he falls forward in a heap and skids just a few feet away from the edge of the crater. Give me a notice roll, both of you. Oh boy is carrying debt charges. They need to be affixed and triggered, but certainly enough power to at least take out one of the legs of this thing. I mean, there's a reason they don't have bipedal tanks, you know?
Right.
Tate is going to reach out and grab them depth charges.
How many are there?
It is a bindle. There are probably 3 or 4.
Okay.
Like, toss a couple to Miles, grab a couple for himself, and then with a smile and a sparkle in his eye, nod over to the big metal man.
Are you gonna charge out of the crater?
Not charge, no, it's still like
Stealth.
he's not.
Give me
it's still gonna be
give me
like
a stealth roll at a +2. I mean, this thing is currently preoccupied. It is being driven by a single pilot.
I didn't do the +2.
And neither of you did the +2, but
I did
so.
the +2.
Oh well, you got a 5, but your trait roll was a natural 1, I'm afraid. The +2 on the stealth roll for Spencer means that Spencer, you duck and weave through the battlefield. I mean, there are you know, the cross irons and spots where you have to hack through barbed wire that's been trampled over. You're slipping over body parts, but you make it to the leg. Tate, the thing seems to have taken notice at you and is spinning on its axis by the time you make it to its leg.
Oh, so I do make it there without it.
You make it, yeah, you didn't critically fail, you just failed. So it has taken notice of you, but it's taking a minute for it to adjust, you know, to reach down and smush your head or whatever.
Okay. Well, if we have some time, I guess we didn't teach how to affix and detonate German bombs, but
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty simple. They are all keyed to a single detonator mechanism. The whole thing's ghost rock powered, you know?
Is he steady and just sort of spinning around? Or is
Yeah,
he
I mean, he's slowly taking steps, you know, but at this point he's firing down on your trench line and raking the field whenever he acquires a target.
okay. Well, if he's shooting at that and he's taking slow steps, Tate's gonna get up close as he can. And how do the legs look? Is it just like round metal?
Yeah, I mean, it's solid metal. There is like a ankle joint and a knee joint, but both of them are braced. That being said, if you stuck all of that on one place, like, you know, there's no amount of ghost steel in the world that would,
Well, the ankle joint being closest to us, so I'm gonna motion for Miles to place it on the left leg ankle joint.
Yep.
Miles, give me an athletics roll. You are freaking out. The ground is slick. Yeah, no problem. You slide in on your knees, and you're perfectly positioned to shove these things under the plate. I take it you're going to do so?
Well, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna run and almost baseball slide like I did back home, playing stickball. And I slide right under, and as I'm sliding through, I stick that thing right to his ankle.
All right. What are you doing there, Tate? Same? Did we get an athletics?
No,
All right. Oh yeah, you also make it handily there. In fact, so well that it has lost its target acquisition and is it's not terribly agile. It has a very narrow viewpoint for the occupant. It's not like a camera system, right? It's a dude in a giant metal suit, so. You guys have affixed the detonators, and it is probably time to go.
Yep.
So
With that, we're gonna head back to our hole in the ground.
I am going to get
Run back to the
another
ground.
athletics roll from both of you.
Uh-oh.
Tate, you make it to the trench, dive in, right, slide about halfway down, and realize that Miles isn't with you. You clamber back up the side, and you see that he lost his footing when he was attempting the run. He got about 7 steps away from the thing, and now it has one of the sword claws on its hand, headed right towards Buddy.
Tate!
Gonna head back out again and run full speed.
Runs full speed. The claw starts to rake right across your forehead here when Tate makes it to you. Tate, giant metal guy, just clawing open your buddy's face now.
Dragging him away, and then pulled out my Colt to shoot the explosives in the left ankle.
You're gonna manually detonate the explosives at this point?
Yeah.
Give me a shooting roll at a -2.
Go.
Excellent. You plug the explosive. There's a little half second there where everything kind of sucks in, and then there's a vibrant green glow, and the leg glows. You are far enough away to avoid most of the concussive blast, but a piece of that ghost steel goes ahead and finishes the job on Miles' face. Where the claw had just nicked the side of his forehead by the time you had dragged him away, this one rips from the bottom of his cheek up through his forehead and is leaving his face open in a pretty ragged gash.
Hold your face closed.
Not my face, man.
You're gonna bleed out here.
Yeah, I'm sitting there trying to hold my face as bad as I can. Digging in my pockets looking for anything to, like, hold it over the gushing blood.
Tate,
While I drag him back.
give me a notice roll.
Nope.
By the time you notice that there are a dozen other Eisen Reapers standing and going on the field, it's too late. And in a coordinated symphony of artillery fire, they all zero in on the position. And you feel your flesh boil away as you collapse into a burned heap of bones. And hey, that's show over, guys.
All right. Back to Strahd.
GG.
Miles, Tate is having the dream again.
I start shaking him. Tate, you're doing it again, man. Tate, wake up.
Tate comes out of the dream swinging. Just gasping for air.
Calm down, man.
Give me opposed fighting rolls to see if he pops you in the face like happens sometimes.
I popped you in the face.
Hold on.
Yeah, no.
No.
No, he cleans your clock. I mean, he knocks you back against the desk. Your lips busted open.
What the hell, man?
Like immediately, Tate's just remorseful and just. I'm sorry. It was back. I was there again. And he just kind of like hangs his head down and stands up and goes over to the liquor cabinet.
Same one, same dream.
It's always the same dream. It'll always be the same dream. Can't get away from it. And he's pouring a cheap bourbon.
Oh, yeah.
Into it.
I'm not even sure
cheap
it would
glass.
classify as bourbon by most people's
It was
recollection.
not distilled in the bourbon region of France, and therefore is not considered a bourbon.
Right. Well, it wasn't distilled hardly at all. But
I I pointed the deep scar on my face and say, "Hey man, I have this. What do you got?"
Well, maybe mine ain't on the outside. Hmm?
Yeah, maybe. But you know
Other
that ain't gonna
guys
help
came
you.
back like this. Ain't my fault.
That stuff right there, and I'm pointing at his bourbon. It's like that's not gonna make it any better, man. I've been there.
Well, for now, it's gonna help me sleep.
Yeah.
and that is patently untrue because there is not a damn thing in the world that will help Sidney Tate sleep. He has major night terrors, people. He does not sleep well at all. So I am going to need a spirit roll from you to determine whether or not you have a level of fatigue from the dream again. Successful. It wasn't as bad tonight as it is some nights. Some nights you get to watch Miles die, you know,
It's
despite
because he
the
punched the shit out of me.
well,
He
yeah, he
punched.
punched the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe next time when you wake him up, you do it from across the room. With all the experience you've had with this, you would know. So we had uh, the description of these fellas like 20 years back, but what do they look like today? Sydney Tate, why don't you both describe yourself and the situation you currently find yourself in?
Sydney Tate's 37 years old now. Haggard in the face, tired. He always looks tired. No matter how much he sleeps, he looks tired. Bags under his eyes perpetually. Still tall, still slim, always tired. Hair's a mess. What used to be in his youth his pride is now ragged and held and hidden under his hat whenever he goes out. Hadn't met a comb he's ever wanted to use
Hey, are
since he
you
got
gonna
back.
answer that?
It'll,
Grace,
it,
answer the phone.
it's gonna be picked up by the messenger, don't worry. Well, you think this is my first day in the front of the office?
Next time, I'm making you wake Tate up. I'm not doing it again.
Well, I'd have the good sense to just throw some water on him like I always do.
Yeah, well, there's no telling what he does when he's like that. So go ahead. I dare you to throw water on him.
She says and lights another cigarette.
Tate checks the time on his wristwatch. It's the only nice thing he owns outside of his gun, his Colt, his treasure.
It is 10:30 in the morning.
Too early. Too early to be up, unless we got work to do. And looks over at Spencer Miles.
Miles, that former beautiful, pretty, untouched face now has a giant scar. Somehow, through the grace of God, his eye was saved. Though that scar goes straight down, and every time he looks in his mirror, it reminds him of that day in that war, which he's tried every which way to get out of it. Drugs, alcohol, he did it all. Now he doesn't touch this stuff. Doesn't sleep, stays up, can't cut the brain off, so he's constantly looking at things. Super curious. Kind of looks the same way he did before, just a little bit older. Except now, very rarely, he has a nice big mustache. It's not in style around New Orleans where they're at. But he figured anything to take away from people staring at that scar across his eyes.
Right. And it should be mentioned that, if I'm not mistaken, it is very coiffed in the slight curl there.
It is.
Immaculately done up. The
But it's a
well-presented
little dated.
hair. Oh, it's
It's a
definitely
little dated.
dated. I think you
Yeah.
probably based it on the vision of the heroes you had going into World War One, because it's a style of mustache that would have been
Right.
far more traditional in that time period than what you're wearing now. But it does, in fact, draw away from the ragged scar running down your face from that day on the battlefield. As for jobs, there's been a dearth, gentlemen. It's been a dry spell for a couple of weeks at this point. You guys are down to eating beans and old bread. And whiskey. Well, bourbon. Excuse me, bourbon.
Quote, yes.
You sure we didn't get any other calls?
I mean, there's been a couple. What do you want?
I need a case. I need clients. I need money.
Well, maybe if you
You know.
twos were a little more presentable, people would come in here. You got us in a dump down here. What kind of nice person is going to walk into an office like this?
Maybe if you'd answer the phone, we get some clients, we could get a little bit more money in here.
I
You
don't
know,
I don't have to answer the phone. That's why we have the Hellstrom recorder.
your son should have took you with him.
Y-
Him and that dame that he left with.
My son is a good man, and he's gonna be back here any day. You're gonna see. He didn't flee town. He's helping that woman out. He's got a kind heart, unlike
Yeah.
you, you bum.
He owes me $300, and if you ever talk to him, you need to remind him of that.
I'm sure he has the obligations 100% locked down. Now don't you worry
Yeah.
about it.
How about you just focus on answering the phone?
She puts out her half-smoked cigarette and lights another one. She
While they're
yeah.
while they're going on, Tate's putting on his shoulder holster, checking his Colt, putting on his overcoat and hat, looking to be heading out for a stroll, get some air.
Yeah.
It's getting stuffy in here.
Yeah, well, yeah, fantastic. You are about to do so when, for the first time in 2 weeks, the front door of your office opens, and it's not one of you. In fact,
What's this?
it's an attractive young lady in her mid-20s, and at
Uh-oh.
first glance, she fits the profile for your typical damsel in distress. But she's got a face that says all business and a look in her eyes that says none of it's personal. She says,
You got the right place.
"Is this the Tate and Miles Detective Agency?"
You got the right place. What can we do for you?
"I'm in need of some detectives, of course."
Miles
Tate's
runs
getting
over.
a bit straighter up.
Yeah, he fixes his collar, pulls a chair out, says, "Please, please, have a seat, have a seat."
She looks at the torn upholstery on the wobbly chair and says, "I think I'll stand, thank you."
Fair enough.
"My name is Chelsea Gedd, and I'm the secretary of a Mr. Travis Evans, and he would very much so like to procure your services."
Absolutely.
Sure.
Where can we find this Travis? You said Travis Evans?
Travis Evans, yes. Mr. Evans would like to set up a meeting to discuss your potential employment.
Okay.
For reasons he'll discuss with you when you meet, he would like you to conduct your initial business at Marie's, a small cafe in the French Quarter, tomorrow at 1.
I
Works
think
for
we
me.
can make it there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I will tell Mr. Evans to expect you promptly at 1 p.m. Good day, gentlemen.
Excellent.
Well, if that ain't a mystery in and of itself.
Are you? By the way, are you gonna be there tomorrow?
No. But feel free to
That's-
enjoy the view as I leave.
And I do.
Right.
Dame's got a mouth on her.
Yeah, no, and she's wearing the
fitting
traditional
exact
1930s. She's got the narrow waist. It's the apple, shape. She makes sure to put a little extra lilt into the hips as she leaves. And Gladys says, "Put it away, Miles."
I don't trust her.
Don't trust her then. We can meet Mr. Evans tomorrow and see if he's on the level.
Yeah. We need the money though. Let's see what he has to say. Some about her. Not sure. Can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, 'cause she won't let you. Oh,
Well, yeah, obviously.
Huzzah. So, it would probably behoove you two as detectives to make some attempt to gather some kind of information about this Mr. Evans before you walk the 5.5 miles to the French Quarter tomorrow.
Does Miles have any contacts he can reach out to? Just, ask, have they heard of this guy within his network of Street folk.
I would take a streetwise or area knowledge New Orleans roll.
How the hell do you do area knowledge New Orleans?
Well, you make a skill area knowledge
Unskilled.
New Orleans. Yeah, both of you are pretty recent transplants, you know.
That'd be an unskilled roll for us.
Unskill.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't matter, but the trait roll was a natural one. Every time. How about you,
Right.
Tate?
I got excited.
Man, you guys don't manage to turn up anything about the fellow. You spend the rest of the evening down by the docks asking around the local likelies. Nobody is, nobody has any news to tell. He's clearly not an operator on the criminal scene.
So he might be on the level.
It's possible. Unless he's one of those Richie criminals that don't associate with our types.
Richie criminals. Has money then.
Possibly. I mean, you saw the dame that walked in.
He can afford to send her wherever he wants, yeah.
That was his secretary. I mean, look at ours. Look at his.
What do you
Think he's
mean
gonna
by
be a little
that?
better off than us.
Hey, all of you know I type 7 words a minute.
Gladys, go back to the office. This is the docks.
Why? Yeah.
Oh,
why are you?
I thought you guys were going back to the office at this point. No, she keeps an eye on you guys. She keeps you boys safe. You know, she's the hidden gunman.
Yeah.
She's the muscle.
Mm-hmm. Well, now I don't know what I was gonna say, Miles. Gladys showing up. I got $20 for my name, Miles. If this man wants us to do something for money, we might need to do it.
Yeah. We gotta go find out more about him, though. I hope we're not walking into something crazy.
Give me a notice roll. Miles, you're walking past a newspaper stand for the local rag, the New Orleans Tribune, and you glance over and happen to catch, what do you know, the name, Travis Evans.
Hey, Tate, check it out. Look. I show him the paper.
Our
Look what
man's
we
in
have
the
here.
paper.
That's right.
Now that is a handsome gentleman.
Yeah, and he looks like he's rich, so this could be big for us. We got to get this right.
The article is discussing a upcoming election for the president of the local dock workers union, the IBT Local 270. It seems to suggest that he's a bit of a dark horse candidate. He isn't the lead in the running because that job has been taken for several years by, what's his name, Simon Beauregard.
Union man.
Yeah, my guess he's probably going to offer us a little cash to do a little muckraking. Maybe find out about his opponent, find out what he's doing, who he's sleeping with. This
Who
could
he's
be
not
worth our
sleeping
while.
with.
Who he's not sleeping with. Might be worth our while. This could be big.
Interesting. Maybe we should ask around the was it IBT 270?
Yeah, let's go talk to some of the union guys, see what they have to say.
You guys are gonna go down to the docks where they, it's about a mile and a half away from the office where, well, I mean, you know, so the different unions run different docks. You guys
We
are
went
going
back and talked to her and then went back to the dock.
Well, yeah, now you're going to the, yeah, well, you were walking past a newspaper stand, you know, the conversation with Gladys notwithstanding. Yeah, you find a bunch of dock workers that are affiliated with the union for sure on a smoke break.
Ask them. Hey.
Well, Tate used to work at the docks, so. You know.
Why don't you roll a d4 to see whether or not you associated with any other local 270? That's a no, dog.
No.
Hey, fellas. Name's Sidney Tate. Work down at the docks a couple miles down from here. Looking around for new work.
You ain't gonna find no work down here, partner.
Why is that? What's going on down here?
Same thing that's going on everywhere, man. Look at us. There's 12 of us here, man. There should be 250 men on this shift. There just ain't no boats.
And no boats. Well,
I
till
I-
12 years. What's keeping y'all here?
I mean, there's enough boats for 12 guys. What's it to you?
Maybe there might be room for a 13th guy. Who knows?
No, man, we're a pretty
Who's it?
tight-knit group here right now.
Hmm.
You gotta be in the
Union?
union anyway.
Ah. Never gotten to mine down at the old docks.
A 270's pretty good, man.
How long you been in it?
Me, not going on 5 years.
5 years. All right. They got good leadership. Treat you right.
You know, that's neither here nor there. We got hope, though.
Oh, times is changing.
Well, you know, that's neither here nor there. Hopefully.
Hope somewhere.
Hopefully.
Okay. I don't mean to pry.
I
Just
mean,
looking for new work.
yeah, man, that Travis Evans, he gives a good speech, but I'm not sure he's got what it takes. Unseat Beauregard. Another dock worker says, man, I don't know. He inspires hope in a lot of these here folk.
What's your take on him, Travis Evans?
I mean,
You think he's the real deal?
he's as real as they come.
What's he saying? What's he promising? Inspiring hope. Is he gonna magic up some boats for us?
Well, I mean, excuse me, he's building up a reputation of sorts. You know, a lot of the money that is filtered through here is filtered through the pockets of a very select few. Right? As the business dried up, it became consolidated in a few entities. And, well, Mr. Evans doesn't much take cotton to that. And he said he gonna free it up and split it evenly among the docks here. And we got cause to believe him.
So he's
Every
gonna
man
end
a
all the
king.
corruption.
Yeah, I mean, lots of anti-corruption for sure. But I mean, the current fellow, I mean, he's been established here for over a decade. And, I mean, he's got himself in both the pocket of the city officials and some other people that I'm not gonna talk about.
Well, there's still one man, one vote in the IBT 270, right?
Yeah, but money still buys votes, especially when people don't got two nickels to rub together.
So what do you think? You think Evans has a shot?
I don't know, I think he's got a good message.
Okay. Appreciate you talking to us. I'll keep looking somewhere else.
Yeah, man, no opportunities down this way.
All right.
All right, head out of there. Head back. Do we want to spend the rest of the day sort of dicking around and prepare for tomorrow?
I don't know. We could probably ask more than 12 guys their opinions. Maybe go by an office.
Where's the union hall? We go to the union hall.
Give me a streetwise roll. Yeah, you're gonna come into that a lot. Don't worry, as you guys become more associated with New Orleans, you'll definitely have these streetwise rolls. Yep, nope. And hey, there we go. Excellent. Yeah, so you know that the Union Hall is about a half mile further down the docks. But with that streetwise roll, you don't need to really go pursue the matter much further. Because, I mean, as you talk to people, it's the general consensus that as long as you're not talking to management, right? Like, this guy's the guy to vote for. Like, he's going to change things. He's got a
Kinda
real
get the
progressive
feeling.
platform.
Right.
He's going to shake it all up. And, I mean, these folks are so downtrodden that any shaking up couldn't be but for the best.
Call him the Kingfish.
That's another fellow.
Mm-hmm.
Look, man. I'm not sure we need to look any further than this guy. Money's money. All I care about is if it folds and if it's green and if I can use it. You see how we're looking.
I mean, folding, yeah, but I'd want mine gray, wouldn't you? And he kind of chuckles. I'm interested to find out what an anti-corruption man wants with two private dicks.
I don't know. Maybe his wife's cheating on him.
If it's
Maybe
only
he's-
gonna be that easy.
How many of those cases have we worked in the last few months? Seems like every other one is some guy cheating on his wife, some wife cheating on her husband.
Every other
And we're-
one is, in fact, some infidelity case.
Right. You know how sick I am of tailing some mook walking around the city with some young broad that he met? This has just been another one, but this guy looks like he has some cash.
Maybe
Hey.
some character too.
Maybe it's something more, but I doubt it.
Alright. I think we're good though. Set up nice. Not going in blind no more. I ain't worried about being a trap or anything.
You guys gonna settle in for the office for the night? Wait out
Yeah.
the evening, go to the next day?
She
Not
doesn't live
gonna-
there with us, does she?
No, she has a
Okay,
private,
good.
a little one-room hovel about a mile down the road. She
Excellent.
takes the tram in every morning.
All right.
Night
Yeah.
hours are just for you guys. But speaking of night hours,
Uh,
Drew,
Mm-hmm.
Sydney Tate knows, 20, 30 fellas that died in the war, right? And tonight, it's just a litany of them standing in a circle around you. You're trapped under a sheet of ice, bubbles coming out of your mouth as you pound on it, right? And all of these dead friends are circled and just pointing at you, staring, with wounds that brought them down exposed and open on their bodies. You struggle against the ice, but it's too thick to break your way through, and as you finally are about to succumb to the, drowning, uh, you wake up the next morning in a cold sweat.
Mm.
And today, you have a level of fatigue, I'm afraid, so let's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
get you
Got that set up.
fatigued. It's a hell of a hindrance.
Yeah.
It's not every night, but thematically appropriate nights, yeah. That's how we do it around here.
Looks extra tired in the office.
He does, yeah. Well, you're not exhausted, frankly, thankfully, so you're just fatigued, but it is still, it's a -1 to all trait rolls. And I'm not sure how it works in Deadlands Noir, because I know you had to spend 1d4 days in a bathhouse or similar environment to recover from a level of fatigue there. But, sleeping conditions are a little better. You guys aren't saddle sore necessarily. I imagine it'll be a everyday circumstance. We'll check for a level of just base fatigue as opposed to an accumulative roll
I recover
function.
it whenever I bed down again.
That
That's
makes
it.
sense. Maybe take a vigor roll for it.
yeah.
Or a spirit roll, excuse me. Not the dice color. Give me the effects. There we go. And fatigue on Sydney Tate. Excellent. So you guys awaken. It is the next morning. Gladys is there clacking away at an incident report from a case from, 4.5 months ago.
Great.
The
See you
stack of
keeping up to
papers.
See you keeping up to date with everything, Gladys.
7 words a minute.
Yeah.
I don't need any lip out of you today, Spencer.
What do I pay you for, anyways?
Well, for the camaraderie, of course.
Yeah. I need to take your son's cut out of your check.
I thought you already were taking the cut out of the check.
No.
$10
'cause
a
I'm nice.
month. You're railroading me here. $10 a month. You're railroading me.
Yeah, I'm overpaying you.
Bah, she says, and puts out a half-smoked Ghost Strike cigarette and pulls another unfiltered one from the pack.
Love it. All right. I guess we wait around until it's time. You know, I suggest we go there a little bit early
It
just to check it out.
is a 2-hour hike.
Holy crap!
It is about
This
five and a
town
half
needs to get
miles
a
from you
trolley.
guys. There are some limited trams, but certainly not
Yeah,
into the quarter from the dock. Well, I mean the quarter from the docks, but not the corner. Jesus, not the corner of the quarter of the docks. That's what I was saying.
and we're too broke for a cab.
I mean, you could definitely rent a car, but yeah, 50
Yeah,
cents,
we're hoofing it.
right?
Hmm.
All right, well, let's get started.
Yeah, so you guys, start your hike. How early do you want to be there?
20 minutes isn't a
Yeah,
bad
it
idea.
doesn't have to be too early.
20 minutes. All
Seem
right.
desperate if we're that early, like an hour early.
Right. The hike there goes off without a hitch. I mean, you guys wander up from the waterfront through the edge of the quarter in the central district, and then find yourself on the edge of the French Quarter and the Treme district. And the Treme district is renowned for being the worst district in New Orleans historically, the most poor, crime infested or whatnot. And I mean, and today it's a different scene, of course. Hashtag don't kill us. But the it is a lousy neighborhood. Oh my God! And why is the phone still ringing? It's
Oh, great.
madness.
You can hear it from
Yeah,
here.
she's just got you.
Always here.
I
Uh,
bet somebody's calling us right now, and Gladys is sitting on her ass smoking a cigarette.
100%. Well, no, you're not quite there yet, are you? Where is this sound set? There's too many, man.
For a guy to be so well off, why does he want to meet us in a place like this?
It's away from the docks, man.
Yeah.
Doesn't want anybody that he might know here. And he ain't
My
gonna know anybody in the quarter.
Miles's brain is like always turning, always looking for an angle, always thinking like something's up.
Right. Well, and I mean, you would not be wrong. I mean, if this guy is a moneyed uh, official, right? Like, there's no
True.
reason that he would be meeting people in the slums so far away from his, you know, where he works and whatnot, and with the relative anonymity of, the meeting place. So it is something suspicious. But the place seems like on the up and up. It's just a little cafe, radio's playing, it's bustling with people, little sandwiches, some etouffee.
Hmm.
I go in and I order a big, huge glass of water, sit down
Mm-hmm.
and wait.
Man, I get a coffee. How much is a coffee here?
It is a nickel.
Alright.
You guys settle down with your beverages. The lady that comes around to the table seems a little put out that you're just ordering a water, but doesn't say anything aside from the facial expression. And exactly at 1 p.m., a gentleman that looks remarkably like the one you saw in the photograph walks in. Give me a notice roll. Wow, fantastic, both of you. Both of you immediately look at the silhouette of his jacket, and he's not carrying a heater. He's unarmed. The suit is nice, but not like fancy. He's well presented. He's clean cut. His hair is immaculate, and he has one of those disarming smiles as he looks around the room.
I run up to him, shake his hand. So, Mr. Evans,
You run up
Spencer
to him.
Mine.
My God.
Well, not not run.
Thirsty.
Colloquially, colloquially, I run up to him.
Hire us,
Shake his
please,
hand.
sir.
I know.
I'll do anything.
Mr. Evans, Spencer Miles, it's my associate Sydney Tate. Please come join us.
Oh, well,
Motion him over to the table.
how about you boys come join me? And he looks over and he says, Delilah, can we get the back room? And she nods, and you guys are ushered into the back room, in fact, which is like a private seating area. It's a curtain that slides over, like a VIP kind of large booth, red upholstered seating everywhere. And the
Nice.
oriental dome lights going. It's a little bit quieter than the front of the house.
Hmm.
Uh, you guys both also on that notice roll. Uh, he exudes like good. You know, he's just one
Seems
of
like a
those.
nice guy.
He's just one of those people. You know, like when you meet it, he's got the politician smile, right? But his eyes light up too, right? He's
Right.
not dead
Hmm.
behind the peepers. It's the whole package. And he says, "Ah, good. Now we can sit down here and talk."
Excellent. Uh, by the way, how's the food here?
I find it fantastic. Can I order you gentlemen something?
If you insist, I mean that'd be fine with me.
By all means. And the waitress comes around with a menu that you weren't presented with when you first entered the establishment, and it's the full array of dishes. Gumbo etouffee. There's some crawfish. There's uh, what do we have here? All kinds of stuff. Catfish.
Hmm.
Yeah, I get some etouffee.
Get some blackened catfish with a
Hails
side of jambalaya.
to the yes. So, yeah, the waitress takes your orders, and he says, drink order for either you gentlemen?
It's good with the water, sir.
Still have my coffee.
Uh,
So, Mr. Evans,
yeah, please call me Travis.
Travis, what do we owe this occasion to? Your beautiful assistant said you'd like to meet with us.
Well, she is fine, is she not? Ha. But that was not one of the characteristics that was required in hiring her. I just call that a additional benefit.
Of course, of course.
Well, gentlemen, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but I'm a Union man myself. Not as in the Union versus the Confederacy, because may the Confederacy live forever, but a
Hmm.
Union as in a labor union man.
Right.
The
Saw your
270 down
article.
the docks. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw your article in the paper yesterday.
Well, they do like to print their stories, don't they? I can say that everything bad you've heard is true.
So, what can we do for you, sir?
Well, now I think it's something that we might be able to do for each other, gentlemen. You see, because I have an issue that requires no small amount of discretion. And I heard through the grapevine that you two gentlemen might be the sort that could assist a man
You heard
in
correct.
procuring information about things that would also require some discretion.
Is this
I
going
think
to
we
be a
could
part
make
like our normal, usual crowd of cases?
Well, I can't speak to what your normal, usual crowd of cases might be.
Discreet.
Yes, discretion would be the better part of valor, after all.
Hmm.
So,
Looks over at Miles like, yeah, good to go, right?
Yeah, and I'd turn to Mr. Evans and say, look, if the price is right, we can handle anything you need us to handle. That's what we're here for.
well,
And we take the utmost discretion.
I appreciate your diligence there. And the food begins to arrive at the table at this point. And he has just a small glass of, gin and tonic action going on. A little aperitif. 1 p.m., not too inappropriate by any stretch of the imagination. But he does seem mildly disorganized. He is shuffling through a stack of papers and says, I do apologize. Normally Chelsea takes care of my documentation, but she had to leave suddenly on a family emergency just this afternoon, and I'm stuck with, well, myself in arrears, as you can see. Organization has never been one of my strong suits. Probably not something a man should admit looking to run as a union leader. And shuffles through the papers there. Uh,
So what is it exactly you need for us to do, Mr. Evans? Oh, sorry, Travis.
well, it is wonderful that you ask. And he finally seems to settle on the document in the folder stack. And he pulls out and he says, well, in preparations for the coming election, I performed an audit of the local 270's activities. and discovered information that has made me suspicious, perhaps, about my esteemed opponent's use of Union resources.
Was he taking a little cut under the table?
Well, now, see, that's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of here. I found some figures that don't add up. Well, to be more precise, that add up a little too neatly. And, as a figure running against this gentleman, I can't be seen going around procuring documents that may or may not incriminate or implicate him in something that would, be beneficial to me in the election. It would seem as though I had an ulterior motive. And, I admit to you right now that if I did find something, it would be good for me in the election. But my primary motivator here is rooting out this corruption for the common man. I hope you can appreciate this fact.
How is this any different than every other Union president known to man?
Well,
Isn't
now,
that kind of what you guys do?
it may not be any different than most Union presidents, but I'm trying to bring a new era to the 270. With my election, I'm hoping that we can do a system that would be more properly allocating the work hours and resources instead of parking them into Beauregard's silk-lined Italian coiffed jacket pocket.
Okay, so what do we need to do? Where do we need to get it? We'll get you the information.
Well, now, there's a few places you could be looking here, but I must warn you before we go any further that some of the things I've already uncovered implicate the Black Hand as being involved. And I'm not sure. It takes a certain kind of spirited individual to run themselves afoul of the mob around these here parts.
You're telling me the Union and the mob are working together?
I know, real shocker, right? Real shocker.
Yeah.
If
I don't think they even need to know we are involved at all. We won't tell them.
Well, again, discretion is the better part of valor.
Let me ask you a question, Travis.
Yeah.
Is there a danger for your life if they find out you're digging into the Black Hand?
Indeed, there is.
So I'm guessing that this is pretty important to you that we get this information.
This is pretty important information, and I think I already see where the conversation is headed. And how about this, gentlemen? $10 a day per diem, plus $200 on completion of your investigation.
Excuse me a minute. Allow me please talk to my partner.
Yes, by all means. And I'll take my leave, powder my nose, and he goes to the restroom.
Excellent. $200? Man, we could use that. We could actually hire a real secretary.
But why would we even want to finish it early if it's $10 a day?
Right. We could take a couple months.
I mean, I think it would have to be faster than the election happening.
We'll find out when the election is.
It's just 2 weeks out.
Okay. 2 weeks out. You do the math. That's like $1,000, pretty sure. Maybe not. Oh, that's right. 2 weeks out, 14 days. That's $140. It was at a piece? I don't remember if he said a piece.
No, just per diem. So he's trying to pay you both. But $5 a day. That's expenses plus.
$340. It's a lot of money.
I think we might want to get this done before the election so that it can affect the election.
Well,
it's up to him.
And now, wouldn't it be not necessarily the worst thing in the world to have a local union leader in your pocket that owes you a favor should you accomplish this task rapidly? One in the hand and two in the bush, though, but this could be something that pays out.
Let's do it. What do you think, Tate? I say we take it. Look.
I mean, we ain't heard of not take cases.
$340 is a lot of money. Problem I'm scared about is the hand. That could be bad news for us.
Just don't tell them we're involved.
I don't know, man. Something about this doesn't set well with me. The Black Hand?
It's the mob.
Yeah, I've tried to stay out of this. You know how I feel about it. And you and I have sort of steered clear for them for quite a while. I mean, we've only been in for a minute. We know not to get involved in their business. Now we're talking to the union and the mob. I don't know. Seems like it's dangerous, but we really need that money.
Well, when he gets back, let's just tell him we'll do it.
All right, I'm in. Let's do it.
And almost at that mention, a beaded curtain slides back, and he slips back into the booth, and he says, "Have you gentlemen come to an accord then?"
We'll do it. Give us the information and what direction we need to take, and we'll get you the information you need.
Fantastic, fantastic. And he reaches out his hand across the table to shake both your hands.
We'll shake it.
Wants to shake hands, I guess. Shake hands.
Yeah. I do the open clawed hand to see if he's part of the Masons or the Illuminati.
No, I mean, he's a little weirded out by that. I mean, he gives you a big, meaty, like, just firm enough politician handshake, you know, where you
Okay.
go, that was a strong handshake, but you're not like in a vice grip, you know?
Yeah.
There's no
I did
wrist
this.
motion, it's the forearm thing. Yeah, and I know exactly the hand. And that might, strangely enough, we'll mention some handshakes later, perhaps, but no handshakes currently, right? No,
Excellent.
well, I'm relieved to see that we have come to some kind of an agreement now. And he starts flipping through the things again. Again, I apologize, Chelsea. My girl normally takes care of all this for me. I'm not a paperwork man. Holds it up and he goes, all right, excellent. Here we go. Now, thanks to my own investigation of sort, I've been able to identify two
Wait,
businesses.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Travis. That per diem. Before we get started in all this, you think maybe you know, we could get that per diem? This would be considered part of our work if we're listening to evidence.
What would you say you would estimate the amount of time you will need? Well, I can't even say that because you don't know what it is I'm asking for. How about this? I'll give you guys $50 right now, and consider yourselves on retainer.
Miles tries to withhold his. He wants to like burst out smiling, but he tries to pretend like, like, oh, that's great. But inside, he's like, oh my God, $50? Are you crazy?
Give me a performance roll.
I don't have that. So.
Unskilled.
Mm.
God almighty.
You
Embarrass yourself.
you try to put on the poker face, right? But
Right.
I mean, like the edges of your mustache curl. I mean, you're, you know,
my scar starts twitching.
Right, exactly. Exactly. You get a little sweaty, and he doesn't even seem to take note, though. I mean, he's happy. If you need money,
Okay.
that's fine. Of course, everybody needs money right now, right?
Excellent.
So,
all right, let's talk about what do you got here? I see you've compiled some information for us.
that's right. So, I've managed to identify a couple of businesses that I think might be integral to money laundering. It's hard to tell at this point in the situation. All I know is that it's taking money out of the mouths of my union workers, and I can't be having that. So ethics dictates that I get to the bottom of this again, regardless of the upcoming election. And one of the establishments is receiving a regular monthly income of the exact same dollar amount every month, and it is one Reeve Automotive Supply. They sell, Hellstrom Phantoms.
Hellstrom.
They sell, what they got, what is it? The Steel Industries 32, I guess is the last model they put out. They service those. I don't know. I'm Southern. I'm la. My voice is slipping. But yeah, and so they have a ledger monthly from the union logs that's matched to the penny by an outlay from another company, Barstow's Bakery. And I want you to look at their business ledgers by whatever means you find, and see if either of those two entities have notes in there that might tie it to the Black Hand at either end. I've been through 4 months of their records, and every month they've been to the penny matched with one another. Now, circumstantially, that just does not seem, well, it's fishy, gentlemen. It's fishy.
And what's the amount they're paying out?
That is an excellent question. Allow me to shuffle through my notes again.
Can I ask you, Travis, where'd you come upon this information?
Well, I mean, I'm the union leader. I have access to all our financials.
Yeah, but how did you find out about Barstow's
Uh,
and Reeve?
Just a coincidence, believe it or not. I mean, I was doing my due diligence, and I stumbled across the fact that both of these figures lined up month after month, with a total of $3,047.07. And, well, that's a mighty specific number to keep coming up over and over again. And, being that it is my job to protect the union, and I do have this election coming up, that's why I'm here inquiring after y'all's services.
All right. And how much money was it again they're paid out a month?
$3,047.27. I'm pretty sure I had the cents wrong the second time, but now it's canon. 3,047.27. Yeah.
So you think this money is funneling to the hand?
I think there's something not suspicious about it, and all I know is any money that ain't going to my boys is money that's being misappropriated.
All right.
Any other information you have?
Yeah, there is some more information right here. The suspects. Oh, come on. To that end, he produces 2 letters. These are letters of introduction from the union with my stamp and signature on them. Thanks to standard vendor agreements, I would like you 2 gentlemen to pose as auditors of the union and ask to view the financial records at both Reese Automotive and the Barstow Bakery. They should have no problem with you reviewing these documentations. It's well within the rights of the role of the inspector.
Okay.
Truthfully, I mean, these reconciliation audit powers for union reps are mostly to make sure management is not siphoning funds. But I think that perhaps exposing racketeering might also be in the spirit of the order.
Let me ask you a question. There's a reason why you didn't go to the cops for this. Or do you think they just turned in the cheek because it's the hand?
The same reason I didn't go to the mob.
Interesting. All right. I think we can do that. Anything else?
Now, I don't want you gentlemen to approach any of the union members directly now, you hear? Right, there can be no news that links this investigation back to me.
Of course.
Understood. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if we get more evidence of some wrongdoings, then we might expose the goings-on a little more broadly, and once the implications start flying. But until we have something more concrete, I don't want to be the boy that cried wolf over here now, especially for the election, you hear?
Absolutely. We'll be sure not to involve you or any of your men, Mr. Travis.
Excellent, excellent. Now, do you gentlemen have any more questions for me before I vacate? I'm afraid a man running an election is a busy fella.
We may have to reach out to your assistant. I don't suppose you could give us her number in case we need to call her for, for some help.
Miles, I think we're on a case right now.
No,
I
can give you.
It's up the case.
I can give you the office number, but as I said, Darlin Chelsea had a family emergency and left this afternoon.
Okay, maybe when she gets back, we'll, she may
Maybe I
offer
believe
some more
I believe
information.
her father just passed, so it might be a
Oh,
couple of
well, she,
days.
she probably needs someone to comfort her during this rough times, and I'd be happy to reach out if you need me to.
Give me a
Just
Miss
persuasion
Evans.
roll at a -2, cause that's creepy. Macking on a girl when her daddy died.
Misa
her daddy
30.
ain't
No,
there.
it's not.
Yeah.
Uh, he kind of looks you for the first time in the whole meeting. His like smile breaks a little, and you can see he's taken aback by that comment, but quickly recovers his composure and says, yes, maybe indeed," and
Okay.
you know, waves goodbye and walks out the beaded curtain into the restaurant in front of you. And with that, we are going to take our traditional mid-session break. I hope you all have enjoyed watching so far. Please continue to watch. Remember to smash that follow button or what. I don't do the YouTube very well, so please
Smash it.
follow, please subscribe, please share this broadly across your media social. Join the Discord. Get in on the conversation. It's a hoot and a holler. And we will be back in the aforementioned 5 minutes. So stick around, please. are back for part 2 of the first episode of Deadlands, Tate and Miles. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It has been fantastic so far, and we appreciate all of your support. So, you fellows have just met with Mr. Travis Evans, a union official that's looking to win the local 270 election in the course of his research as official within the local 270. He seems to have discovered a suspicious network of payments for the exact same dollar amount running between a bakery and an automotive repair store. He has given you guys a letter certifying you as auditors of the union and the addresses of the locales, and has sent you on your way. So, you find yourself back at your office, ready to go.
Miles, I gotta tell you, I'm worried that your horn dogging's gonna get us in trouble with potential clients.
I was simply offering friendship to a young lady in need. That's all it was. Nothing more. I mean, hey, look, maybe one day we'll need a new secretary. I'm fielding offers.
I'm gonna
Please
outlive
don't
both of
believe
you.
Did anybody answer the call while we were gone, by the way?
Yeah, your mom called. She told you were a terrible son.
Oh, is it
My mo-
Tuesday?
My mother's dead, by the way, but if you're talking to her, maybe that means you're close.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
That would make my day.
And she puts out a cigarette, and can you guess what she does?
Lights up another.
Immediately lights up another ghost strike, unfiltered.
So, Reeves Automotive or Barstow Bakery?
I'm kind of hungry. I could go for a sandwich. Need some bread for tonight.
Do we know anything about either of these places?
No, not off the
No.
top of your head.
Not really.
We
Okay.
need to go to City Hall, see who owns the places, that kind of thing. Hit the
Mhm.
books.
You would have
Yeah.
to, in fact, hit the books.
Yeah, we're gonna hit some books.
All right. You guys head to the records office at City Hall, and we are going to initiate our first hitting the books section. So I want to make sure I get this right. Da 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 da. Because it is a rule specific to Deadlands Noir. Hitting the books, where the hell are you? I literally saw you just 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, I was reading it earlier.
Setting rules here. Detective work. Da-da-da. Alright, sometimes all you need for an investigation skill is a simple answer, right? So this case, it's probably a pretty simple answer. Why don't you guys give me a investigation rolls?
I'm
And I
gonna
get-
sit out on this here, Miles.
Yeah,
I
no.
get a +2 because I do have investigator.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, this is definitely more Miles' forte. If you want to go down to the docks and try and rough somebody up for some information, that'd be a different kind of scene. Use an intimidate, but yeah, that would require you guys to split.
Evan
How
said
does
don't
that-
talk to no dock people anymore.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have an investigation trait. Is there an investigation trait or is it
It's a
notice?
skill.
Skill.
Or research? Skill.
Yeah.
Or is
an-
it research?
Either or.
All right. How do
there-
I add the +2?
You just go to the corner and go +2 in the modifier window.
There we go. Yep.
And if you don't have investigation as a skill,
We need to retool your character.
Yeah, I don't see it listed in the skills.
It's one of the Deadland Noir skills, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, or maybe I don't have the right module loaded.
no,
yeah, I
it's
would
not in
100
the Deadland skills.
Oh, you're right, it's not.
Yeah.
Do you have research?
I do. Yeah.
Alright, let's do
definitely
research.
Okay.
Might want to trade out research for.
Are you kidding me? Oh,
Doesn't matter.
no,
that was close.
You make it. Da 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 da. it takes you 1d10 hours of research to ferret it out at the records department because the fellow behind the counter, a little Weasley chap that you've had to deal with a couple of times before, doesn't really care for you.
I don't care for him either.
Yeah, well, his name is Vincent, and of course he's working the counter today.
I choose to call him Vinny.
Yeah, he
And
hates
I
that.
know he hates it. That's why I keep doing it. Hey
And
Vinny, I'm done with this. Give me another one.
Mr. Miles, I see. He
Yeah,
adjusts
Vinny,
his
you know
big,
me.
thick glasses and kind of pushes his greasy, thinning hair off to the side a little. What brings you to the archives again today?
Looking up two things. I want to know a little bit more about who owns Reeve Automotive and Barstow's Bakery. Everything
Reeve
that I can find out
Automotive
about them.
and Barstow's Bakery. Well, man, my memory as to where the record stacks are located is a little fuzzy today, Mr. Miles. Like you
What
seem
are
to
you saying?
forget that my name is Vincent. I've seemed to have forgotten where the stacks are.
Yes, Vincent.
Yeah.
Please help me, Vincent.
Actually, you know what? He points to the name tag. You can call me Mr. Morris, the plaque on his desk.
Yeah, Mr. Morris, could you please assist me with Reeve Automotive and Barstow's Bakery?
Oh,
Mr.
I'm so thirsty.
Morris? What was it?
I'm so thirsty right now, Mr. Miles. Maybe if you could get me something to, quench my thirst.
Hey, you're pushing it, kid. I just want the books. I'll leave you alone. Just give me the books. I'm already not calling you Vinny.
I
The
mean,
1d4 for bribes, buddy.
why don't you, I don't know, maybe make it worth my while today.
What are we saying here?
I don't know, a couple of graybacks.
I reach into
How about
my
$4?
pocket. $4. That's extortion.
Hey,
I give you.
it's
I give.
it's it's just fair. You're trying to get me to go into these stacks, look up 2 agencies. I mean, I got other things
I,
to do in my day. You hear the phone going?
I pull out $2 and slide it across the table.
Give me a persuasion roll at a -2.
Oh God, it's only 4. Haha.
He is not pleased with the offer of $2. He says, "You know better than the criminals you're after, Miles." And he snatches the dollars and goes back into the books. And he comes back and he has 2 huge, just full-length filing boxes filled with records and puts them on the counter. And he says, "You have until closing."
Huge. And I say, thanks, Vinny. And I grab it and go sit down.
It's Vincent and Mr. Morris to the likes of you.
Right, Vinny. And I go
So
sit down and start sifting through the papers.
it takes you about an hour initially of hand sifting through all these documentations before you stumble across the Barstow's Bakery.
What do I learn?
You learn several things. That it is a small family-owned bakery in the Marigny Bywater district. It has been in that location since before the Civil War, but only owned by the same family entity for the last 15 years or so. And the current owner is a gal named Becky Barstow.
Becky. Yeah, I like that. Is that all we got on Barstow's? Family owned.
They pay
Been
all
there for
their
a while.
taxes. There's no liens on the property. Everything from the city records department looks like it's on the up and up.
Interesting. Is there any data on her itself, or is it mostly just on the property?
No, I guess she's in her 40s. It would list that. Woman seems to be the second generation of people that own it, inherited it from her parents, who bought it from the original owners. But that's about all. I mean, it's county records,
Yeah. What about Reeves Automotive?
That takes 2 hours to locate. There are a lot of Reeves, Dotrieves, Remus's. It's the South after all. But yeah, you do notice finally, after much sifting and maybe a cup of coffee from the shitty machine, that Reeves Automotive
Cup of,
Supply, huh?
cup of Joe.
Cup of Joe. Oh yeah, excuse me, Cup of Joe. The greasiest greasy spoon coffee you've ever had, straight from the Von Stiel dispenser. The I mean, it's located in the warehouse district. It appears to be an industrial scale automotive supply firm. It does a lot of trucking business, does a lot of refurbishing, sells a couple of things, mostly Hellstrom industry models.
Do we know who owns it?
That
Or is it
is
just some conglomerate?
that is the interesting part. That you cannot determine an owner from the registry. Documents list a couple of names, but one that keeps coming up is a St. Clair.
That's the last name? St.
Yep,
Clair?
just St. Clair.
No first name.
No first name.
Okay. Any other info?
No, that appears to be it. Yeah.
Okay. I close her up. Pack up all the stuff, put it back on the desk. Vinny, done. Worst $2 ever spent, by the way.
I'm glad, he says, and he grabs the boxes and shuffles them back.
As I'm walking now, I'm like, the coffee sucks.
Everybody knows that nobody buys coffee from the Hellstrom Industries machines there.
Right. But I'm not sure if they'd say sucks in the 40s.
It's not kosher.
Right.
This coffee ain't the cat's meow. But yeah. So thusly ending your research. You going back to the office then?
Yeah, I go back, inform Tate of what I found out about Becky Barstow and St. Clair.
That's
Not
weird.
much. Yeah.
What time is it?
It is getting near the end of the day. It took him a full day of investigation, even with his success and the bribery. Probably 5 p.m.
I don't know.
I mean,
Want
we
to try? Could go down to one of these places tonight. Check it
I was
out.
about to say, how far is Barstow's from there?
Barstow's is just a couple of miles. Should actually show you guys the map of New Orleans since this is going to happen a lot.
Just wondering if we won't want to go down to one of these places. They'll probably be closing up shop soon. Maybe tail 'em.
Reeves Automotive Supply would be closer to you guys. The warehouse district is, waterfront adjacent.
Why we want to go inside under cover of darkness if we have these letters saying we can walk in the front door?
Well, I'm thinking maybe we tail them for a little bit just to see. I was thinking more about the Becky Barstow person. It's going to be hard to pick out people from an automotive place. Probably a bunch of people leaving.
Oh, you want to follow her home?
Just see what she's about. Why would the mob be getting money from some little mom and pop bakery owned by some 40-year-old woman? Doesn't make any sense to me.
That might be a question for tomorrow.
Answer the phone.
How about this, Miles? Bright and early tomorrow, we hit up the bakery because the baker, they might be there early.
Good point.
Talk to her about what we need to do. Look at her.
Tate and Miles Detective Agency. No, we're not interested. Thank you. Click.
What was that? What was it? What are we not interested in?
I'm not actually sure. It's after hours, so I'm going home.
Please do.
Good night.
Don't come back. Don't come back either. Don't get hit by a car.
The deed to the place is unfortunately in Gladys's name.
That's right, because her son was
Yeah.
a former guy. Okay. I keep forgetting that. Okay. Fine. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that.
Talk to Becky Barstow. See her books. And then in the afternoon, we go over to Reeves. And then at night, depending on what happened at the bakery that morning, maybe then we tail Barstow home.
Yeah, I like that idea. We gotta find out who this St. Clair guy is, though. All I got is the last name. Pretty weird not to have a first name on all these
Maybe he don't
records.
like his first name.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe
his first
somebody's
name's
hiding
Spencer.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer's a good name, by the way.
Are you guys
It's named
set?
after my grandfather.
That's
Yeah,
the
we're
plan.
done.
You gonna settle in for the night then?
Yeah, we're gonna chill. It's 5. I'm gonna do some reading. Oh Lord.
Let's get that spirit roll.
Yep.
As he's tossing and
Nope.
turning, I'm thinking to myself, I need to get my own place.
I'm exhausted.
Right? Well, no, you're gonna be fatigued again. We're only gonna make you exhausted from it when you crit fail, so
Oh, okay.
it's not so bad, but still pretty shitty. This night, you're recalling the first kraut you killed, and the memory of it is, it was close and personal. A lot of that stuff happened dispassionately, but it was hand-to-hand combat with the trench shovel, and in your mind's eye, like, you're not sure if your memory has been twisted by reliving it over and over again, but you swear to Christ, the guy was already dead. Like, his skin was sloughing off, and his skeletal, and his eyes were milky and not fixing, and you had to kill him again with the trench shovel. And you kill him again all the time, night after night after night. No matter how many times you do it, he rises back up to menace you again. It's daybreak.
Yeah, you were doing a lot of tossing and turning last night. Which one was it this time?
It was that first Jerry, that first Hun. Something wrong with his face this time. Or maybe it's every time. I can never tell. This is getting old.
Did you eat sweets before bed again? Didn't I tell you to stay away from food before bed? I think you should try stopping it. That might be what it is.
Why
I
won't
read
you
an
dream,
article.
Miles?
I read an article a few weeks ago in the paper. They were talking about people eating too much sugar before bed. I think that's probably what you got.
Give me a
I
notice
don't
roll,
eat before
Miles.
bed. Miles.
Jeez, man. You do notice a package of shitty 1930s black licorice at the head of the cot there.
I walk over. See,
Oh,
look. This is it right here. Look. See this crap? This is what's doing it. How about not eating before you go to sleep like I suggested you do? I read the article. They don't put it in the paper from scientific journals unless it's true.
But it's your kid's favorite candy.
that's all I got. That's my family. My boy, Kenneth, little Bo.
Yeah. I get it. I started to lay off him after that.
So,
Just be
Yeah.
careful.
it's getting on about daylight hours. You guys could make your way to a business and get there right about 9 if it was the warehouse. Be about 10 for the bakery.
Yeah. Well, I thought we wanted to go to the bakery first, early morning,
Yeah,
hit the bakery, and then loop around. We want to hit the bakery first.
It would make sense to hit the bakery. You know, they keep those real early to early afternoon
Sure.
hours as a bakery.
Yeah. Right. So we head over to Barstow's.
It's a nice enough establishment. As the door swings open, you guys are, assaulted by the smell of fresh baked bread and little specialty tarts
And Tate kind of puts his hand up and like, let me do the talking, Miles, please.
Go for it.
a heavy-set woman in her 40s greets you when the bell dings on the door and says,
Mrs.
"Hi, y'all.
Barstow.
Why, yeah, name's on the sign."
That's great. That's wonderful. My name's Sidney Tate. This is Spencer Miles.
Well, and what can I
We
do
would-
for you gentlemen today?
We're from the 270. We're here to audit the books. And he hands over the papers, labeling them as inspectors for the union.
Uh, y- Yeah, of course. And she's a little taken aback. Can I see that letter?
Hands it over to her.
Thanks, hon. And she looks over it. Give me a notice roll, both y'all.
She can't read.
uh, Miles, the second she got the letter, right, her body language shifted, right? She went from
Right.
like southern gregarious, right, to a little pensive, right? I wouldn't call her nervous, you know, but she's hunched over a little, definitely reading the line by line the letter, you know, with that intensity.
I don't pick up like an Italian or Sicilian hidden accent underneath, do I?
No,
Okay. Making sure she's not, part of the hand.
no, nothing like that. She
Okay.
says, yeah, of course you can come back and look at the ledgers. Can I get you gentlemen a croissant while you wait?
Yeah.
Not for me, Mrs.
Yeah.
Barstow.
She
Free is good.
she gets a croissant and presents it to Miles. It is light and flaky. The bakery has clearly earned its repute in the neighborhood as a decent establishment with fine baked goods. And after the croissant, she leads you to the back office and presents you with the filing cabinet. Says, "Well, now these are all our tax records."
Well, hop two, Miles. Hop two.
Yeah. I start looking through there. Start looking through the information, all the books, all that stuff, etc. and so on.
I
Well,
mean, it
Tate
takes
stays
you
next to the door.
no time at all to locate the ledger attributed to the Teamsters here. Every month, the bakery receives a set amount of money from the IBT Local 270, annotated as baked goods. Uh, and it is for
$3,047 for baked goods.
$3,047.27 for baked goods. Yes.
Is she still in the room, or is she sort of left us alone?
She has gone back to bacon.
I tell Tate, I'm like, look at this, man. $3,000 a month for baked goods. I mean, these are good croissants, but I've had better.
Give me a research roll at a +2. Oh yeah, look at that. Ace. So, another thing that you notice here that you didn't get from the original records from Travis was that there is a debit from Barstow's for the same amount going out the day after the union funds are received.
So they're receiving the $3,000, and then someone's removing the $3,000, going back to the union.
The outgoing payment is stated as going to levies 5 and dime, and the note beside it indicates it's for office supplies and sundries.
Oh no! My first thought is I gotta go back to Vinny.
Miles, you got a tracing kit or one of them little pocket cameras?
Do I look like I can afford a pocket camera?
Can you afford a pencil and paper?
Only just.
Yeah, I look around to see if there's a pencil and pad anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get one of them, and Tate's like making a switching hand in his pushing motion with his hand, like when you put the paper on the other paper and kind of switch the pencil around,
like making a carbon copy kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the pencil.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that would reveal anything, but you could certainly question Becky.
It would record what they have written.
Oh, I guess that's true. Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah. No, 100% you can do that for sure. Most of it's legible. You record both the ingoing and outgoing payments. And you note that, I mean, it goes back as far as this book of records goes. You know, so it's the last 6 months of the business year. Every 6 months there's been the payment, and then the outgoing payment immediately the following day.
It's every 6 months, so not every month?
No,
every 6 months?
It's every month the payment happens, but for
the
6 months, yes.
That's $18,000. $18,000 for baked goods and office supplies. And was it within a day, one day between the the payment and the receive? 3 grand.
Well, Tate kind of does his numbers. He learned mathematics. He learned multiplication in high school, and he's like, "It's worse than you think, Miles. That's 20 grand she spent on office supplies. I think she's getting ripped off."
I don't think it's office supplies, Tate. I think there's some money laundering going on here. They're doing something. The same exact amount in and out. There's some funny business going on. I don't know if we should bring it up to her or not. I got some idea that she was very suspicious of us when we first came in. When you showed her that letter, she did not like that letter.
If she's the one writing in these books, she has to know about it.
Is there anything else in there? I look around and see if I see anything else.
No, I mean, those are the only things. And so you do notice with that research roll that the rest of the ledgers are impeccable. Like, this is the only discrepancy. The rest of it adds up. Everything's on the up and up. None of the other expenditures are exorbitant or make, like, everything is labeled and organized and neat. It doesn't look like a cooked book to you necessarily, with the exception of these entries specifically.
Just some honest corruption.
Right. So what do you think? Do we confront her? Or do we just hold on to this?
Well, if we're gonna do anything, we should hold on to this. But I don't know if she's gonna, like, come in here and look after what we looked through. Maybe she'll find out pretty quick we took something.
Well, and I mean, so, I didn't mean to, maybe I mischaracterized this woman to you. She is a plump 45-year-old baker who seemed nervous when you questioned her. She didn't seem like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The way it seemed was that she was, like, putting on the show of a baker. And
that's what
while
I
she
thought.
read
Yeah,
the
no,
book,
I'm sorry, I mispresented. You guys have made her
okay.
very nervous. Yeah.
Okay. Fuck it. Let's call her in. Let's see what she says.
Miss Barstow, would you please come here?
And what is it that can help you boys with? Would you like a refresher?
No, ma'am.
Cup of Joe? Cup of Joe?
No, we would like.
I would like some coffee.
He fills your coffee up. Yeah. How many sugars, Miss?
Would you just have a seat in Miles if you would just stop asking her about coffee?
2 lumps?
I'll take it black.
Black?
Wait. No, black.
Black.
And maybe if I couldn't impose on you, maybe one more croissant.
Of course, dear. Of course. She goes back to get the croissant.
She ain't made a croissant, Miles.
I mean, she
As they start to
practically
talk
is.
again.
Yeah.
As they start to talk again, I'm like, you don't have any butter for the croissant?
Well, are they not buttery enough for you, my dear?
A little bit more might help.
She, goes and gets butter and comes back with butter. Yeah. A big stick of butter. Yeah.
That's enough. Okay, I'm sorry.
Is there anything else I can assist you gentlemen with? Are the records all in order?
Not quite. Could you tell us, perhaps, what you find so valuable in office supplies?
By whatever do you mean?
Well, Ms. Barstow, in the past 6 months, you have spent $20,000 in office supplies, and I don't see one of Hellstrom's latest.
$20,000? That seems egregious. Certainly, that's not correct. Where are the purchases from? I'm sure I can explain this to you.
Levy's Supply and Dime, as the ledger states, for office supplies.
Oh, well, of course. I mean, we buy boxes for our cakes and bags and baking supplies from Levy. They're a 5 and dime. We get our flour from them.
Now, 5 and dime is pretty much in their name. Now,
I pull out the other ledger.
boxes,
I pull out the other
plated
ledger.
in gold or leafed in gold.
I also
What
pull
with
out
the
the
other
other ledger
ledger?
that shows all the legitimate purchases. I'm like, you mean these office supplies? And talking about the other stuff that they actually bought.
Give me a notice roll at a +2, both of you.
Now, are we doing like an investigation mechanic as well?
Yes, but
the
not
interrogation mechanic as well.
Not currently. We're about to get into patter. She's definitely nervous.
Oh.
She's not telling the truth.
Right.
Oh, it did give you the negative 2. I'll take that off. Oh, you already did.
Nah, it's just -1.
You got cut out there for a second. I was asking if we were doing the interrogation mechanic.
We will be doing patter here in a minute. I don't. Well, I mean, so we could be doing the interrogation mechanic, but that would require you taking her in the back and like roughing her up. You know, like, are you going to beat the shit out of this 45-year-old baker woman right now? Because I didn't think that was the direction the night was headed. But
Well, it's an interrogation. It's broken into 3 rounds. It can use intimidation, persuasion, or taunt.
right, patter is what you're
it's-
talking about,
it's-
right?
So persuasion is like sweet talk or promises. So you can
Right.
butter them up, and that's the interrogation.
So interrogation and patter are 2 different things, right? They're both forms of social conflict, right? If you go
Yeah.
down 1 from interrogation, you get to patter, right? Here, let me share this with you.
Well, patter also has intimidation for tough talk, or taunt if you're trying to like knock the guy down for a few notches.
Right, right. But we're using patter in this circumstance. If that makes sense.
Diffuse a tense situation or dissuade a group of hotheads from mixing it up.
Yeah, isn't this about to be a tense situation? I'm pretty sure you're about to accuse her of extortion or something.
No, this is interrogation, where it's an interview, where we're trying to extract information.
Oh, I guess you're right. All right, fuck it. Interrogation, yeah.
You want us to beat? If we were gonna beat her up soon, that would be patter.
So, how this is going to work, right, is she is currently a hostile witness, and hostile is the wrong term. She's fearful. She's not trying to give up anything. It's clear she's got some beans to spill. Y'all have noticed, both of you, that she's fearful and hesitant to answer some pretty just straight up questions, right? So this is going to be a social conflict, right? You guys are going to attempt to use intimidation, persuasion, or taunt, right, to get this lady to give up some information, right? We're going to be going through 3 rounds of this, right? In addition to declaring which one of these things you're going to roll, you're going to act out what you're saying to the person. We're going to role play the intimidation, persuasion, or taunt. And depending on the merits of the argument you have chosen, right, whether or not she seems like she'd be fearful of you, or you were especially persuasion, or you found a good angle there, will determine the pluses and minuses that will be attributed to the role. So firstly here, which one of you is engaging in this interrogation first round?
Tate is.
Yeah, Tate's the bad cop.
All right, Tate.
The bad.
He's intimidating. You're like a big brute dude.
Which
I'm
one
like
of
a-
these are you using?
Persuasion. Because it's the one I'm skilled in.
Oh, okay. So you have to persuade this woman to give you some information she does not want to give. Let's hear it.
Mrs. Barstow, I know it can be tough out here, all by yourself, running your own business in New Orleans. And along comes what has to be a good thing, a certain win for you. And you're getting in over your head. And the bill's gonna come due on this. And when the bill's over 20 grand, that's something I'm not sure you can be able to cash on your own. And we can be here to help you with that, but to help you, we need to know more information about what's going on.
All right, let's get that persuasion roll. I will call that flat dice. She didn't do terribly. I wasn't incredibly persuaded. She does seem to be being talked into a corner. Fantastic. That is 1 round down. You have, well, I guess it's opposed by her spirit, which is beaten to hell. Yikes, tied, but you win. So, you have won the first round of social combat. She says, I don't have any more information for you, and even if I did, you don't understand. They could destroy my business.
Well, Mrs. Tate,
Round 2.
what you have here is a concern that your business here, which is lovely, is going to be destroyed by these men. Now, what we need to know is who they are so we can stop them, so we can get them behind bars, so we can get these to the authorities, so that we,
You really think you can keep me safe?
Ms. Barstow, with us here, we fought in the war. If we could handle our own against the Hun, I don't think anybody that you've involved yourself with really has a chance.
I will give you a +2 to that persuasion roll due to Miles' scars. You two do look like you came through the Weird War 1 and came out the other side. Boom. Excellent. She's much more persuaded. Now, if you could really... if you could guarantee my safety, you don't understand. These are powerful men working from dark corners. I'm just trying to run a business here.
Alright.
Round 3.
Let's see now. Dark corner. Ms. Barstow, this is New Orleans. Every corner's a dark corner. But sometimes you gotta look to the light when you find it. And it's here now. We're gonna do everything we can to get good men in charge, take the bad men out. It's time for change. And we want you to be a part of that. We want it to start here. This neighborhood, it will not be good if the corruption of what this means. This is corruption. And this rots the neighborhood. If we can clean this out, we turn things around here.
I believe you just might. Persuasion +4.
Boom.
There you are. So you have
So
a
tired.
grand total, I know, that tired is rough, of 3 successes, which has made her generally forthcoming with all but the most self-incriminating of information. So she says, "All right, I'll talk to you fellas, but I've got to close down. We don't know who's listening." And she, turns the sign and ushers the people out and dims the lights and then meets you guys back in the back of the kitchen.
Can I grab a croissant on the way back? Or just maybe?
Give me a
Miles,
persuasion at a -2. This is your 3rd croissant. No. I think you've had enough croissants for now. Let's get down to the real meat and potatoes of why we're here.
Fine.
So, it was about a year ago. This thick-necked goon stopped and informed me that his security company would be protecting the bakery from accidents moving forward. And then to illustrate what an accident was, he smashed up my display cases. He, this isn't my first rodeo, right? Like, I understand how this normally works, but he's never asked for a take of my business. Instead, he's just said that I'm to take the payment every month, record it in the bakery's ledger, and then send the outgoing payment to the 5 and dime the day after. They've never asked for any money. They've never hurt my business again. As long as I keep doing this every month, everything's okay.
What do you know about these people?
I don't know anything except for that they're the Black Hand.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that the union checks are always signed by the same fellow. There's somebody named Simon Beauregard.
Do you have copies of those checks?
No, because, our photo printers invented... Yes.
They probably have carbon,
That's
the
right, the carbon rub. Yeah, she has a couple of pink slips for sure, yeah.
I don't know, would they? I don't know. Maybe
They
not.
would.
Yeah.
Well, and
this is also patent science world.
it is
So-
patent science world, so yeah, no, she actually prints you off of a roll machine.
Miles, you hold on to these.
Yeah,
You're
I
better
take
with
them
your
all.
papers.
I put it in my handy dandy notebook. Let Tate continue his.
I think it's best if you fellas were to take off now. I don't need any more attention than I already have.
Well, Miss Barstow, all that's happened so far is 2 auditors, dutiful in their appointment, have checked your books and signed you off as
They have eyes
okay.
everywhere, mister.
Well, if anybody asks, that's what's happened here today.
That's all you'll get from me.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Miss Barstow. You have a good day.
Thank you, gentlemen. I hope you're good to your word and you can bring some justice.
We'll head out.
Yep, leave.
All
Looks like
right.
some good old-fashioned laundering, man. I think we're just gonna have to keep following down the bunny trail. But my
What?
guess
This
is
isn't
that
enough. We can call it. We can call it good. We've got checks from Simon Beauregard, him laundering money through a bakery.
yeah,
That
but
should
what
be
is
enough to.
this levy's 5 and dime? Answer the phone.
It's after hours. Gladys isn't here.
No.
He says it anyway. It's almost
Yeah.
Pavlovian at this point.
Well, none of you get up to get it, regardless, so.
Right.
The Hellstrom recorder will get it.
Now,
I mean,
if she's so worried
Oh, is it the
about
Von Steel recorder? I forget.
the Von Steel recorder.
Mm-hmm.
Now, should we go to the 5 and dime, or should we go to Reeves next? I still want to go to Reeves.
If you'll
Yeah,
recall, there
I would
was
agree.
the Mr. St. Clair in the ledgers
Right.
there. No first name, same payment dues.
Yep.
They would definitely have later hours than the bakery as well. Probably still be open.
Let's head over.
All
Let's
right.
take a look. All right, we work our way over to the automotive place.
All
Reeves.
right.
You want to take the lead on this one?
No, I think you did a good job on the last one. I think you should do it again.
Thank you,
Plus,
Miles.
you seem pretty well versed in persuading people into giving information. It's pretty impressive.
It might be his steely 1,000-yard gaze, or the sallow bags under his eyes, or the fact that he rarely smiles, but people do seem to enjoy giving Sidney Tate
Right.
information.
I think my scarf scares people off. I need to grow my mustache out more.
Maybe you're the one that's the bad cop here.
Yeah, maybe.
What kind of place is Reeves Auto Shop?
It is
Who
in
the hell
the.
is Reeves?
Supply.
Remember, it's in the warehouse district. Dealt with a lot of industrial truck applications. Did some vehicle remodeling. Sold some late model Hellstrom industry cars.
There's multiple owners. The one signing most of this stuff was this St. Clair fellow.
Is there a front office of some kind?
Yeah. There would clearly be, yeah. If you guys want to make your way there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Walk in, doff my.
Oh, yeah.
hat.
A woman with just a giant, closer to God haircut is sitting behind a typewriter. She's got the
Good
cat's
evening.
eyes glasses. Welcome to Reeve Automotive Supply. How can I help you?
Well, my name is Sidney Tate, and this is Spencer Miles. And as he's saying this, pulls out the letter. We're the 270s auditors for the books here.
I'm sure you are, sweetheart. And she takes the letter, opens it up, pops her gum. She goes, 1 second. She hits a button on her desk and goes, Mr. St. Clair, there's some auditors here to see you from the 270. Then she gives you a dispassionate look and hands back the letter. Take a seat. It is about 20 minutes of sitting there in the lobby before the door to the back office is open, and out steps a very diminutive man. I mean, he is not an imposing figure, at least physically. He is 5'4" and underweight for his frame. He has a motley comb over and is also sporting thick horn-rimmed glasses. Give me a notice roll, both of you. Miles, despite the disheveled appearance of his face and all of that, that is an immaculately tailored Italian suit. It's silk, it fits him to the nines, it stands in a sharp contrast with the rest of his aesthetic.
Does it look like something that actually I don't even know his role. I guess I'll find out later. Yeah, does it look like something that would fit his status?
You know, like, it's an automotive supply store. He is like a 5 foot tall, rail thin, skinny dude with a comb over, right? And he's wearing a $300 suit.
Okay.
Mr. St. Clair, my name is Sidney Tate from the 270. I'm here to look at your books.
I don't have time to be dealing with this today. You're gonna have to come back at another opportunity.
Well, it wouldn't take long. I'm certain everything is in order.
Do you have some kind of documentation or a badge or something?
Like, goes over to the front desk and Tate towers over this little man.
No, you have a foot on him for sure.
And hands down the letter from the receptionist's desk.
Fine, come with me to the ledgers.
You know, reaches way down and grabs the letter back.
Yeah, how the weather up there, Stretch? Come on. And he leads you to a back office. Give me another notice roll.
It's too late in the day. You asked me for notice rolls, and it is just so late in the day.
Miles, in addition to the immaculately tailored suit, you can't help but notice that the sweat is starting to build up at the collar.
Nice.
It's hard to tell. He's got a real kind of agitated sort, right? But, boy, he's got a sweat on all of a sudden. And he leads you to the ledger room, which is a series of filing cabinets. There's a ceiling fan and a solid wood desk with a couple of chairs. And it says, "Be my guest."
Tate just stands at the door.
I start looking through the ledgers. Is he standing there or is he leaving?
No, he appears to have left. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you standing by the door?
Yeah.
Or give me another. Well, no, you'd be watching the guy. Fuck that. You don't know a notice roll. You notice that he heads down the hallway to another office and, like, is given glances until you notice he notices and then kind of shuts the door.
The fun thing is that 1,000-yard stare down a hallway, someone looks at you and you're looking through them.
Right. Right. He's not a very imposing figure, but boy, is he agitated by you guys being in his grill.
I start looking through the ledgers, seeing what I can find.
Yeah, why don't you hit me with that research? Trait roll was a natural one, I'm afraid. So,
of course.
You don't notice anything. Oh, can you what? Oh, you can spend a Benny right now if you'd like.
That's what I was going to
ask.
Yeah,
let me. Shit, I forgot to even assign Bennies. Look at me.
Or adventure cards.
Well, you get an adventure card here next session. I'm going to ease you into that.
What? Are we just all getting... Oh, these aren't...
Yeah, no, so you're thinking of the Deadlands
Poker
Reloaded,
chips, yeah.
the Fate chips. These are all one color, can't re-roll a crit failure. But, yeah, you can toss a Benny at that for sure to re-roll it.
Okay, just did. Are you kidding me?
That is a crit fail. There's a big hunk missing from the ledger from the last 3 months.
That
we can
was
be
awesome.
angry about this.
Yeah. I mean, at least, hey, there's something missing here.
Like, oh, hand me that, Miles. Hand me that right now.
You do notice that there is a payment here, right? like clockwork, every month, right? It's listed as a preferred vendor fee, and it is not $3,074.27. It is always different and always in excess of $4,000.
Did it say to whom?
Preferred vendor fee.
Preferred vendor fee, but it doesn't have like any name or business associated with it.
Nope.
Always over $4,000.
Always over $4,000. Always a different amount, fluctuating by a couple of $100 every time.
It's an outgoing payment. I don't know, Tate. They're missing a lot of data here. Looks like something's trying to be hidden.
Right? That's who tears out 3 months of their books if they're not trying to hide something?
Snake Eyes, that's who.
Alright, well, Tate's gonna take the mauled book down to the office where little fella went to.
The door's locked.
So,
Who is it?
St. Clair, it's Mr. Tate.
I'm busy.
Mrs. St. Clair, we got some questions for you about these books.
Well, what you got was a letter that said you could look at the books.
Well, we're looking at these books, and part of these books ain't here in these books. So we need to know where the rest of these books are to look at them.
I'm sorry, we're closing for the day. You're gonna have to come back tomorrow's.
Mrs. St. Clair, please open this here door.
Please vacate the property, actually. We're closed now. It's after business hours.
What time is it?
It's like 4:40.
If that's where it's gonna be, Mr. St. Clair. And then Tate's gonna go back down the hallway.
I say really loudly as we're walking, like Beauregard's not gonna like this one, and see if there's any response.
Nothing comes from the room, at least that you can hear from where you're at in the hallway.
All right.
The walls are thin, though. I mean, were you to sneak up and put your ear to the door, you're out of line of sight of the secretary. It's got a nice plush carpet in here.
That's exactly what we'll do.
Well, stealth our way up to the wall.
Yep.
And listen.
Is it like a glass we can put up to the wall, or?
No.
God.
Yeah, just the whiskey glass you keep on you at all times for your doubles.
Mm-hmm.
So what should we do for that one?
Stealth.
We're trying to listen. Stealth.
Excellent. And notice.
Okay, no, that was it.
I'm gonna re-roll that with a Benny.
Alrighty.
Critical failure.
You hear muffled talking coming from the office, and you can only catch snippets of it. Yeah, there were two of them. I don't know, they were asking questions. About the books, what the fuck do you think they were asking questions about? You need to handle this. I can't have this fucking heat on me right now. Conversation continues.
Tate motions from the head out.
Yeah. We move.
Well, that could be bad for us.
Yeah, something's definitely going on.
We'll need to keep an eye out behind our backs in case someone's after us.
Yeah, I think at the very least they're on to us. They know we're looking in. We have to act quickly though, because the sooner they know, the sooner they start destroying evidence.
I would want to come back here tonight, maybe see if there ain't something in that man's office.
Do that, or maybe we can even tail the little guy.
Maybe
Either
a little
one.
off the records investigation, you know?
Yeah.
You certainly
Yeah,
haven't been able to
definitely.
look through St. Clair's office.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're missing a big chunk of ledger, you know. Maybe a little light B&E.
Yep.
That
Sounds good to me.
No,
Yeah. So we go
Alright.
hang out, you know, try to wait for people to leave.
It makes sense to me. You guys find a little speakeasy just a couple of blocks down the street. Sit down.
Could have used you earlier.
Bartender, stout fellow wearing a pinstripe vest, also has an anachronistic large curly mustache, cleaning a glass, says, "What'll it be, boys?"
Crowbar if you got it.
I have soda water.
I ain't heard of that one. And he starts looking through a drink manual. Crowbar. 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 I got a crow's nest. I got a...
Take your cheapest bourbon and put it in a glass, and then put 1 cube of ice in there, and then put it in front of me. That's what I'll take instead.
You said the cheapest bourbon?
Did I stutter?
If you want, sir. And he reaches way down behind the bar, right, and pulls out a ruddy, unlogoed bottle and pops it off, and you get a whiff of acetone as it leaves the bottle and enters the glass. And then he takes an ice cube that, give me a notice roll.
Alright.
I'll be damned if that ice is not transparent. And he plops it in the glass and slides it over and says, 50 cents.
That's some high-end stuff.
50 cents.
Your soda water comes out fine, but he's trying to put a lemon wedge on the edge of the cup, and it is more brown than yellow.
Yeah, I wave it off. I'm good, I'm good.
Excellent. So you guys got a couple of hours to kill. This is a establishment of ill repute. Now, there has never been prohibition in the Confederacy because they didn't want to act a damn fool and realize they could make plenty of moolah had they, sold booze to the North, which they did throughout the entirety of it. But there are some things that are illicit down here in the Big Easy. There's some games of cards you could get into. There's certain applications of liquor, like the Ghost Rock liquor, that you could get into. You could establish, yourself a little laudanum nap in a place like this. There are lots of things for the derelict and ne'er-do-well to find to pass an evening. But the case looms in front of you. You guys gonna formulate a plan of action?
I was only half joking with that barman there. We could use it with a good crowbar. 'Cause I ain't got no tools for this. I can't pick a lock, Miles.
I can't either. But if I saw somebody doing it, I might be able to learn. But I don't know anybody that's going to take the time to teach us unless we can find somebody in this here bar.
Oh yeah, that's what we should do. Go around asking for lock picking advice the night of a breaking in.
A place like this, I'm sure if you gave some of that $25 we were given, somebody could teach us.
I'm certain. I'm also certain that they'd sell us out for the same $25.
Yeah. Well, I didn't plan on getting caught or leaving any evidence behind.
No one ever does, Miles. No one ever does. So, what's it to be then? How are we getting into that place? Just hoping they unlock the door? Going the back way?
You should have gave me 5 minutes to talk to that receptionist. I would have got us in there.
Yeah, she seems
I'm
super
sure-
receptive.
I'm sure she would have been a fan of yours in no time. And Tate rolls his eyes. Or do we just follow the man home, bust into his house? Because I can do that. I can punch the man. I can beat him up good.
It should be noted that Travis asked you guys not to cause a ruckus with union-affiliated individuals.
Right.
Oh, he's union affiliated.
Well, he would be as part of this, supply
Yeah,
chain
he's on
between
the
the
book.
things.
Yeah. Look, let's at least go by there. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe there's a window open. Maybe there's a door open. Let's just go see what we can find.
Yeah, we can see if we get lucky tonight.
If you'd have let me talk to that receptionist, I'm pretty sure I would have got lucky tonight.
But we were breaking into a place tonight. You couldn't be doing both at the same time.
Forget it. All right, let's go. Thank the dude for the soda water.
Yeah, it was actually clear because it came, from a you know, dispenser and all that. He didn't have to freeze the river water himself. But alright, so you guys find yourselves outside of, where is my, there we go. Oh, do I really not have a street noise? Are you kidding me? I am the worst DM ever.
Alright, that's it. We can't do it.
Yeah, no, sorry, it show's over, guys. I forgot to do ambient street noise on my soundboard. So you know what? Let's see if I can get her to hang up that phone at least. Well, no, because this is the sound you hear echoing from the the warehouse. Damn it, Gladys! But so both of you sit across the street, smoking, doing whatever, kind of casing the joint over the course of 20 minutes, and you give me a notice roll at a +2 due to the expenditure of time.
Being real nonchalant about it.
Right.
I'm so tired. It's
Right.
so late at night.
It is late at
I
night.
did that twice.
Oh man,
They both
boom.
passed, but
Well, both
yeah.
passed, but we'll use the second one because the 19 is a fantastic number. In the course of the time, you've gotten your eyes on the patrol. There is security, but it seems to consist of one security officer and a guard dog. They lap the building every 10 minutes or so. It would
we got
not
10
be
minutes.
beyond reason to pop over the fence and then, you know, when he goes around one corner, be on the other corner and circle opposite him for sure.
Yeah. Let's do that. We sort of notice his trend, his cycle, and when he passes, you know, did Tate pass it? No, I tell Tate we got about 10 minutes to make this happen. Hop the fence.
Should be fine.
All right, I will need an athletics roll from both of you to hop over the chain link fence.
That's a Benny I'm spending.
It must be a Benny you're spending. Excellent. Give me all the bennies.
That's a Benny I'm spending.
Yikes. Sydney
I made it over.
I know you
Can I
do.
help pull him over?
Oh,
there we go.
I'm so tired.
He is literally, he is just fatigued. The
Can
nightmares.
I pull him over?
No, but now you're inside, you can go and lift the chain on the latch and then
yeah.
open the gate. Yeah.
So I sit there like trying over
he's
and
just
over again.
Scrabbling up the, yeah. That was fantastic.
And
That
I
was
just like,
that was my favorite use to two bennies, I think, in the entire history of Savage Worlds. Yeah.
Me using a Benny and crit failing was
that was wonderful too. I love that as well. But 2 back-to-back to climb a fence and failing, that's magnifique. But yeah, you guys are both over the fence now, and there is a you know, like one entrance on either side of the building, 2 big sliding doors that open up, and then the front door office entrance. She's typing like a motherfucker in there.
It really is.
Really?
I start checking the doors, the sliding doors, the front door, very quickly. Give them little
windows
tugs.
are open.
Yeah.
They are locked.
Everything's locked.
Everything is locked up. It would require a lock-picking roll from either of you, which could be modified by the presence of a lock-picking kit, or you're just gonna have to shoulder one of the fucking things open.
Can I try to wedge or jimmy my switchblade in like to pry one of the doors open?
Yeah, for a lock-picking roll.
Well, yeah, I guess it'd be unskilled, so I don't have the skill. But let's see what happens.
Yeah. Look at that. Boom. Yeah.
Click.
You stick the, you know, blade of your stiletto in there and wiggle it, and then, yeah, the lock twists and pops, and the door creaks open.
Nice. Tate, this way.
Hooks
Slide
around real
it.
quick and then hurries over.
Yeah. Fantastic. You guys don't hear anything from the interior. Mind you, you're not in the garage bay. You're in one of the side corridors. It leads past St. Clair's office to the ledger office you were in, and then there's the receptionist area here.
We make our way to St. Clair's and see, of course, if that door is unlocked.
Also locked.
$5, it's locked.
Also locked. I try the same deal. Let's see how lucky I am.
Let's get it again with a +1. Interior door will not be as secured as an exterior door.
Okay. How do I add? Hold on.
Well, just a
Just
mind
like-
modifier.
You can
It's
use your
not.
mouse wheel to scroll up one on the little.
Yeah, on the circle in the corner. Lower
This
left-hand side of the screen.
Yeah. I got it.
All
Wait,
right.
they took it up. It took it up a die though.
What?
Shouldn't.
What do you just
Yeah.
+1 to your modifier, lower left-hand side of the screen? You shouldn't be altering it in your character
I got
sheet.
you. Yeah, I got it. I see.
This is just a situational modifier, so it's temporary.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, oh yeah, this one pops with no effort at all, and you have access to the office. Give me a notice roll at a +2, Tate.
Okay.
A flashlight beam plays against the exterior windows. It looks like the guy's doubling back faster than you thought.
We dug down.
Yeah.
Behind down the receptionist desk.
Are you leaving the doors cracked?
No. We shut the gate behind us. Doors behind us.
All right,
Yeah.
excellent. And both of you are gonna crouch down behind the receptionist deck then?
Well, he's in the office down the hallway.
You're in the office. You're hiding behind the desk. Are you
Yeah.
gonna let him know that you saw the flashlight somehow?
He goes, cuckoo.
Automotive bird! Automotive bird! Yeah, no. I'm feeling
Well,
it.
no way we really can without like crawling my hands and feet down the hallway. But that's a risk. And he's busy. He's looking at things. He's not.
Yeah, I pop the door, sneak in.
He goes to town looking at things, and I'm hiding behind the desk out front until that light goes away.
All right, we will see if that light goes away shortly. You are in the office, Miles.
Right.
Filing cabinet's desk.
Yeah, I start digging, looking, ransacking the place. Well, not ransacking, but just going through stuff.
The desk drawers, assorted bric-a-brac, some files that don't seem related to anything, and a .38 revolver.
A revolver, interesting. I put that to the side. There's nothing else of interest in there?
Not in the desk proper, no.
I start looking around for any potentially hidden drawers, anything out of whack or around the rest of the room.
All the filing cabinet doors open, except for one on the bottom of the third filing rack. It seems locked.
Can I pop that open, or at least try to pop that
yeah,
open?
you can give me that with a +3, because I'm pretty sure you can stick anything into those and just twist. You know, they're secure. Right? Oh my good lord! You break the tip of your switchblade off in the lock and cannot extricate it from the interior. You will not be picking this lock. That being said, filing cabinet's old-timey, right? If you were to remove the filing drawer above it, right? Well, look, isn't that just the filing cabinet down there below with a weird access point?
Yeah. I just pull that top one out above it and look down in it.
Tate, give me a stealth roll at a +3.
Hopefully I'm not too tired.
Nice.
Whoo! The door clicks open from the garage to the interior, and a security guard without a dog that, I don't know, I'm not sure you'd be able to see it from your location, but a security guard without a dog walks through, and he says, "Michael, you want a beer?" As he heads past the desk.
Do I hear it? Do I hear it?
You hear, "Michael, do you want a beer?" at this point, coming from the hallway, yeah.
Yeah, I sneak and push the door shut to the office.
Give
Just
me
to make
a
sure.
stealth roll at a -1. Yeah, you whisper quiet, creep up to the door, and it clicks shut. Hinges don't squeak, the clack doesn't alert him. He seems like he's already had a couple of beers, and wanders down the opposite way of the hallway towards whatever kitchen or whatever they have set up with an ice chest. It's a moment or two, and he makes his way back. He takes a look around, doesn't notice anything amiss, closes the door back into the garage.
When he goes into the garage, Tate kind of crouch walks down the hallway, holds up 2 fingers in front of the window of the, or I'm not sure, like it's a solid door.
No, it's like frosted glass, you know, on the
Yeah.
office door. It says Mr. St. Clair.
It's like little bunny ears in
Right.
front of the glass, and then kind of quietly opens it to go in.
Yeah. You guys are together in his office now. Give me an investigation roll.
Research.
Yeah, sure. We need to switch that.
Change that.
Those are 2 different things, but
Yeah.
we'll get there. Anyhow, you ace the shit out of it. So yeah. After you pull the documents out of the filing cabinet, kind of working its way out of the middle bar that runs through the things when you remove a drawer, you stumble across the chunk of the ledger that was torn out.
Excellent.
It is pretty damn dark in the office, though, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to read it here without a light source. We're talking
Let's just take this back
moonlight.
To the office and be done with it.
Yeah, let's just take it.
We've
I
been
put
too
the
long already.
cabinet back together. I say, hey, by the way, there's a 38 on the table.
So,
And then I'm starting to close it all up.
to be clear, you guys are removing the very same section of documents you were trying to inquire about earlier this very day, after having broken into the establishment.
At the very least, we're going to take it to a place we can read it.
Right.
Like, it's dark in here, and neither one of us have flashlights.
Right. Well, I imagine one of you has a Von Steel quick light lighter, you know, but...
Oh, that's true. I do have a lighter.
Still, that is, I mean, you know, if anybody's walking past, they let a flickering light in there, you know. It might be best to just extricate the document. I just think it might also be prudent to be aware that, like, if he's well, time to go look in the secure cabinet. What's that? Somebody broke a knife in here? What's that? The ledger's missing. What's that? The same day that these, you know, like, it's not that wide of a stretch. And if you'll recall, St. Clair did have a phone call already with some folk.
He also has no idea who the hell we are.
That's true. Except for when you introduced yourselves as Spencer Mile and Sidney Tate, but...
Yeah. Because that's the names on the sheet of paper.
Oh, shit. Okay. I wasn't sure.
It's like, what was
you did all the talking.
My name's Barney Gumble, and this one here is Dave Miles.
Right.
We're Briggs and Murtaugh.
So...
Yeah.
If you want to look at that real quick, just scan through it. Maybe take the relevant sheets of paper. I mean, not all 3 months. Maybe a couple is enough.
Yeah, I actually go under the desk with the lighter and take a glance and see what I see.
Oh yeah, of course.
What you see.
Well, the lighter flicks open and ignites the fires and burns. I mean, you just, oh god, the whole office catches in flame. No, let me actually. I had just closed this window because I was like, well, they're gonna move, so I gotta pull this up again here. But yeah, so it is the missing bit of the ledger and includes quite a bit more information. The payments are regular entries going out to several brothels in Storyville, right, which is the red light district of New Orleans in this time period, and kind of currently. Never mind. We're not going to go into current New Orleans. We're going to talk about old-time, antiquated, fictional New Orleans, where there is a problem with prostitution in the, Storyville. But each month, the houses listed a pay to set a fee, which is annotated as repair and removal service fee. Oddly, when added together, these fees amount to the exact same amount that you noted earlier, the $4,000 plus going back several months. Like this whole total, whatever this is, the 4,126, the 4,092, the 4,263 each month, right? If you do the math between the figures you were seeing that were headed out to the 5 and dime and the, yeah, they line up.
Do we want to do our little scribble scrabble thing? See if we can make it.
Take a sheet or two and not be noticed beyond. Nah, they'll notice because of that. Well, you think we need to? We got what we got from the other place as well. we got checks from Beauregard paying out. That's just money laundering. Like what they're doing is money laundering. We can go to the Five and Dime to really nail Beauregard. We can follow up with the brothels next, but we don't have no reason to be there.
No, I think you're right.
And just what the fuck do you think you guys are doing in here? Says a figure at the door, clearly not the 5'4" Mr. Sinclair. But
Oh, we're lost, mister. We just was looking for a speakeasy and wandered into here by accident.
well, you're about to be lost. Muggsy, get him! Alright, and he puts on a pair of knuckle dusters, pops his knuckles.
I got a couple of them too.
Yeah.
I pop on my knuckle dusters.
Oh, yeah.
on both
That's what
hands.
I back up and say, yeah, Tate.
Oh, snap. So, we are going to add these combatants to the initiative tracker and then beat the shit out of you.
Maybe.
Oh no, where there's a will, there's a way. Alright, the first fellow, I said knuckle dusters, but I meant club. You know, they've got those blackjacks that are traditional here. He drops it into his hand. And he said, well, now, so you can definitely shoot him, but
Kill the man.
I mean, it's always an option to shoot him, but there are two things. Yes, then you're a murderer, right? And then B, I mean, that shot just... I mean, there'll be cops here in 3 minutes, you know? You don't want to call the coppers. You gotta... This is going to be handled just dukes, I get the sense. But with that, we are going to start our initiative order. For those of you unfamiliar, this is done with a set of action cards based on normal playing cards, which Fantasy Grounds automates quite lovingly. And away we go. The first fellow, the one in the... Huh? Oh, can't you? Poof.
There's only me and Tate.
Poof. The first fellow, the one that was in the doorway, reaches up with the club and goes to take a swing at you. Tate. And you catch his blow with your forearm, right? This ain't your first rodeo, and you respond.
A quick 1-2, a quick 1-2 punch.
Are you punching twice then? Oh, that's right,
Yeah.
but you've got
No
the...
multi-
I keep
Two
forgetting you
fists,
guys
friend.
and your two-fisted edge. All right, two fists of fury, ringing out.
Wait, hold on, I gotta...
Caught the block.
still minus-
Jab, jab. It should just be -1 from the fatigue. You don't have to add the modifier there.
-1 from I'm not ambidextrous. So,
Oh, I thought you had two-fisted fighter.
yeah, so no multi-action penalty, but,
Do you still suffer the offhand penalty with ambidextrous?
yeah, so I guess for my first one it wouldn't be.
Well, no, they all stack up.
-2.
Like the map is acquired immediately.
Yeah.
But that's
So
fine.
then,
That's
yeah, it'd be -2.
That's fine. Whiff. All right. Second swing.
Second.
Whiff.
Oh, God. Why is it -3? Why is it... Oh, 'cause
Fatigue. And I'm not sure
So
what the other effect is that it has on you right now.
I rolled -2 for my mistake, so I should be rolling -1.
All right. We'll re-roll it again with a -1.
Oh. And then-
This is our first combat, folks. You'll have to apologize. Neither of these guys have Savage World recently, if at all. And that's a big old miss. Swing, swing, nothing. He dukes out of the way. This guy's clearly been in a scrap before. Miles, you're up behind the desk. Tate is wrestling with this dude.
Is there anything like on the desk that I could grab and possibly hit him with?
Yeah.
38.
I mean, there's the 38, right? There's one of those really nice lamps, you know, with the green glass shade and the kind of brass ornate inlays.
Yes.
Weighs a couple of
Yes,
pounds. So this is
Yes,
an improvised weapon, which will give you a
Yeah.
-1 on the attack roll. But it would just be
Okay,
a fighting die aside
Yeah,
from that.
nah, it's straight from a movie. I just want to grab it and clonk him on the head. So that's fighting roll, right?
Yeah, that's a fighting
With the
roll at a
-1.
-1. Yep.
There we go.
Excellent. Oh, and we had to roll that over him, but I can drag it.
yeah.
Don't worry.
All right, thank you. I forgot the target.
Hits. All right, so we are going to use the Billy Club's damage. So I will just drop that over him right now because it's improvised. And he is shaken. You smash the glass over his face and he starts bleeding and loses his combat focus on Tate there. Clearly blood welling up in his eyes and disoriented. His buddy pushes in behind him, right? And he's going to take a swing at you, Miles, there. Just swinging broadly, big haymaker. They're both drunk entering the fray. In fact, I'm going to give him a -1 due to his intoxication. And coming right at you, Miles. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Man.
I saw a bunch of shadows.
Yeah, no, that was a bunch of shadows. So he hit with a raise, which, oh, good, you still have bennies. That's gonna be useful.
Soak that with a Benny.
And he pops you for a wound worth of damage. So you can spend a Benny to roll a soak roll, which is done from the character sheet. And there is a literal soak little icon.
Where's
Or no, actually right click on the Benny and say use to soak, and then it'll automatically do it. I forget they updated it.
Yeah, I accidentally spent a Benny and didn't do that, but you can fix that.
Yeah, I can just drag another one on you.
Actually it doesn't give me that option.
Really?
Open mini sheet, close window, and minimize.
That totally works in Deadlands Reloaded. That's rough. Alright, so just give me a vigor roll. We'll do it. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Do it live.
Ah, yikes. No,
Yikes.
you take that wound. Yeah.
Alright.
I mean, he rung your bell. Alright? He caught you right along the facial scar, right? And the nerve damage from that. I mean, your eyes are watering. I mean, your nose starts to swell up. You're staggering. You're not a fighter. Yeah, you're definitely #shook from that blow.
I'm like, Tate. I'm just so used to him saving my life all the time.
Right? Alright, and moving on to the next round. Tate, speaking of, you're up first.
Alright, and that's that. Patrolman 2 is the guy that just whacked. No, that guy's shaking. Like,
Yeah, it was
well,
Patrolman.
I'm done with this guy, Miles. I'm done with this guy. So -1. Shaking guy.
Pow! Man, but it's just a glancing blow against his toughness. Boom, there you go. Second one coming in. Brass knucks. Finding the meat. Boom, catch him right under the jaw. His head snaps back. His eyes go daffy. And he falls to the ground unconscious.
You're next, buddy, if you don't cut this out.
He's caught up in the moment right now. He's gonna try and punch Spencer again. Still a -1 on him due to his slight inebriation. And misses broadly this time. Perhaps a little too confident about his first go around. So, shaken is rolled automatically, and I'm afraid you did not make your vigor roll, so you are still shaken. However, you can spend a Benny to get unshaken and move right this round if you would like. And we are coming to the end of the session. So I would actually recommend it.
Yeah, I shall. Spend the last Benny.
Excellent, excellent. Let's get that vigor roll. Oh yeah, excellent.
What a raise.
So yeah, not only are your, well, I'm not sure. Yeah, no, because you've soaked. Yeah, he still gets the wound. He's just not shaken. That's right. So you come to. Your head clears and you can act.
I am just going to. I'm gonna grab that 38 and hit him with the butt of it.
Yeah, it's another improvised attack, so it'll be a -1.
Alright, here goes. Miss.
Yeah, that is a whiff. You just can't get. I mean, this isn't your forte. You know, you're in a dark office, blood in your eye, face stinging, big old dude. And Sydney Tate leading it again.
Yes.
Like, reloads his arms, or reloads Henry Cavill style.
Right?
Doing this on the,
just-
oh, man.
They're wrestling back and forth. It's hard to get the shot off. Whiff again. Man, that fatigue tearing you up, man. If
So
only you could
bad.
get a good night's sleep. I never kind of realized how bad that hindrance was as a major. That fatigue can be brutal. When you're looking for a 4 and it's like, nah, -1 or maybe even 2. Rough. He's going to swing at Miles again at this point. In for a penny, in for a pound. He's got to finish this kid. Uh-oh. Hits with a raise. Fortunately, he is dealing non-lethal damage. He's just attempting to incapacitate you. So we probably won't kill you the first session. Man, another wound, and you are out of bennies. So there is no soaking for you. 2 wounds down, -2 to all your trait rolls. It's, you are like punch drunk at this point. He's ringing your bell. But speaking of bell ringing, it is your turn to see if you are. Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah,
unshaken. Yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, no.
I'm gonna hit him with the butt of the gun again, or at least try.
Roger that.
This guy dying over here.
I'm just swinging.
Yeah, it just it's slop. It's all over the place.
Mhm.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He's up first, too. He re-steadies himself, squares you up, lines up the shot, and he's sure this one's going to put you down.
He has hit 2 crits this little fight here.
Alright. Oh, and he misses. Finally, you managed to get
Finally.
out the way. The blood clearing from your eye just long enough for you to get the motion going. Tate.
Real quick, 2 punches.
Boom.
One.
First one fires out. Oh, and rings his bell a little. Let me apply this shaking here. Oh, well.
I'm just gonna
Oh,
deal with
second
that.
one hits. Blow, blow, the old 1-2. Oh, and this one puts him out. He slams into the desk right, and his head flops over, and he slides down to the floor in a heap. And
Well, we might as well take this with us.
first combat of the show. Yeah, now I think people are gonna have some idea that something happened here. So
First, don't look at the damage type for brass knuckles, Will.
it's non-lethal. Don't worry, it's non-lethal. You didn't murder these guys. I need to
Yeah.
actually change the formula to make sure it's non-lethal. But so you guys, you beat up the guys inside. So I mean, that's pretty much the.
Yeah,
That's
we just
just it.
take the.
Yeah, take the
hey.
ledger, take 38.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you pocketing the 38? Please do.
I'm pocketing the 38.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, you could pawn that for like $4. It'd be stupid to leave that.
Right.
But with that, we are going to conclude this week's episode. Just getting started with the investigation. So you'll note we spent 3 hours investigating financial documents. And somehow I still had a hell of a time. I don't know about you guys, but
Oh yeah.
this was
Yeah,
fantastic. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for being with us here on the very first of many episodes to come of Tate and Miles. We're going to get into these characters. We're going to work them out quite a bit more. Man, they're going to get into all kinds of nonsense. If you liked what you saw tonight, man, please follow the channel. Man, it helps so much because especially tomorrow night, more Deadlands Reloaded. Whole different cast. They've been going on for a while. You can check the back episodes in our video on demand library. Speaking of video on demand, this will be available here shortly after the show in a new edited, more concise, sexy format on Twitch. And then all of our videos are available 48 hours later for video on demand on YouTube. So make sure to check us out over there as well. Thanks so much. This was a blast. We love you guys. And from the League of Gentlemen Explorers to yourself, may your dice always roll hot. Cheers, guys.